Okay, rise and shine, family. Rise and shine. Hope everybody's doing amazing. We about to do the cross examination of Travis Rudolph's brother. So, as you guys are coming on, I'll give you guys a moment.
5 minutes just so I can get this set up.
Yes.
All right. So, guys, I'm just taking a little short break before they get started.
15
So,
minutes.
I welcome you guys into the room while they're doing this little
2:40,
intermission here, family.
5
Hope everybody's
minutes
doing
till,
amazing.
5 minutes to 3.
Like the
Remember today, the
content,
4
share.
cardinal rules, folks.
All right, family. So this is gonna be an interesting one. Okay, we went through the cross examination for the girlfriend. Today we're gonna do the cross examination of Travis's brother. So Travis is the one the NFL player who was facing life in prison. Okay, family. I don't know if you guys can hear me. Life in prison. Okay. Yeah, I know I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. Sounds good. If you can't hear me, guys, that's on your side. Okay, Tina Spinelli. The grand rise, everybody. Okay. Today, like again, Travis Rudolph is the guy who's facing life in prison for murder. And today we're going to hear what his brother has to say, who was there the entire time that this fight occurred. Okay. So grand rise to you, Sensei Mantis. Blessings to you and the family. Thank you so much. Just Blaze. Blessings to you as well. Adrian McMillan. Rise to you. Vonda Rathbone Williams says likewise. Let's see here. Mary Myatt says Grand Rising Sunday from Ohio. Shout out to Ohio, y'all. Shout out to Mary Myatt. Good rise to you, Barbara King. Good rise to you, Becoming Talia or Tila. Welcome in, family, for part 3. Fasten your seatbelts. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, Queen Lacey said. Thank you so much, love. Marissa Pazzarelli. Rise, my beautiful people, she says. Loud and clear. Thank you, Just Blaze. All right, Randy said, you good, cool. Here in Georgia. Shout out to Georgia, Barbara King. All right. Good rise to you. Mahogany, thank you so much. We can hear you. What's up, Levy Wop? Hope everybody's doing amazing. Guys, looks like we got a nice little room here so far. I can get started as soon as you guys are ready. If you guys caught day 1 and 2, let me know. Put it in the comments if you caught 1 and 2. If you just caught 1 or 2, or if this is your first one, let me know in the comments, family. All right, for those of you who don't know, this is the reviewing these cross examinations for this murder trial of Travis Rudolph. Okay, his girlfriend found out he was cheating on her. They have a horrible verbal argument, which escalates to a physical one. On her side. Shout out to Dawn Hart, caught 1 and 2. Here for 3, great. When she leaves, she ends up telling her brother that she was abused, that she was knocked down, threw down twice, and some other things. He rallies up 3 of his friends. They go over there to confront Travis Rudolph. They fight him. They jump him. Travis goes in and gets his gun, shoots 36 rounds into the car they were driving, hits 2 of them, kills 1 of them. The other one that was hit was severely injured, $70,000 in medical injuries, medical bills. And here we are with the trial over, hearing it all come out. It's so crazy because I've been trying to talk to parents about how we're raising our children, because it's how we're raising our children and how we're living in a society that's creating this type of stuff, y'all. When you hear that, how they interacted with each other, it's so many things that could have easily been prevented. But it's so many things that we would naturally do out of anger and immaturity. And you can see how it escalates to lives lost and freedoms taken away and reputations ruined and families destroyed. You got to keep in mind, this was like her second home. So she knew his mother, she knew his family. I'm sure that you may know your child's significant other's family really well. They may know you really well. All that goes out the window when they get mad at each other. They would risk your child just as sure as the moon gonna come out tonight, yo. Just as sure as the sun gonna come down. They would risk your child's life because they're mad that they got cheated on. We are so egotistical. We think we own each other. Imagine looking a mother in her face and saying, I ended your daughter's life because she cheated on me. cheated on me, so I ended your child's life because she cheated on me, then leave her alone. You don't end her life. What is wrong with you? You don't own people. People may not honor their commitments, but if you acting like this, you shouldn't be in a relationship because people are likely to not honor their commitments. People cheat. You have to be emotionally stable to go into a relationship, and we're not considering that. We're letting our children just go off and meet people and call themselves being in a romantic relationship, knowing that people ain't disciplined like that, knowing that people have different standards and morals and characters. When your child is hurt, if they are not mature enough to handle it, they don't have you there to support them, they may just do the worst, man. All right. So today we'll be able to hear it from his brother's side. We're going to talk about things that that he speaks on, and we're going to go from there, family. So again, I hope you guys are having a great rise, a great Sunday. It's 12:15. I think we should get started. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and get on going, family. For those of you who are familiar, let's get going. If you're not familiar, all right, please look up part 1 and 2 of this. Okay. We've been going in for hours. We're probably like 7-8 hours in now.
All right, everyone take your seats, please. Bossy, you may inquire.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good afternoon, Mr. Rudolph.
Good afternoon.
One of the first questions I'd like to ask you, sir, is something you spoke about at the end of the questioning with Mr. Shiner. I believe you stated when you were asked if Detective Vanderland ever came and spoke to you, you said the answer was no, right?
Yes, sir.
Do you remember giving testimony in this courtroom back on March 8th of 2022?
No, sir.
You don't remember coming into this courtroom?
No, I remember coming to the court, but
Okay.
you
That was
said-
my question. And do you remember that you came and gave testimony just similar to what you're doing today? Even though
Yes.
you might not remember it, you remember being here for that, right?
Yes, sir.
And you remember when you came in, you got sworn in to tell the truth just like you did today, right?
Yes, sir.
May I approach the witness?
You may.
So this is just him making it clear, establishing the foundation that he is aware that he was there, and he's already given a statement so they can refer back to it, because he's now already admitted to remembering coming there at least. And he'll probably walk him out.
Yes, you may.
You remember coming to the courthouse? You remember talking with someone? Do you remember questions being asked of you? Once he says yes, we established that he's full aware that
It's here somewhere.
So that
Mike, where's the mic?
Back to it if we said
Thank
something
you,
different from what he
ladies
said
and
on the
gentlemen of the
last
jury.
So what I'd like you to do on page 271, if you can read lines 11 to 22.
Silently, please, to yourself.
And let me know when you're done, okay?
So what he's reading over, he's about to be questioned on. Melissa Trotter, this is the case of Travis Rudolph being tried for murder. All this escalated over going through his phone and discovering he was potentially cheating. He ended up blowing all the way up until now a murder trial, okay?
So isn't it true that on March 8th of 2022, when you were in this courtroom, you were asked, and she, meaning Detective Vanderland, leaves her card, right? Do you remember saying yes, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
Question was asked, and she, Detective Vanderland, says, well, hey, if you decide you want to talk, give me a call, right? And your answer was, yes, ma'am, right?
Yes, sir.
Question was asked to you, you never called her, did you? And your answer was, no, ma'am. Is that accurate?
That's correct.
So as you sit here today, is it still your testimony that Detective Vanderlyn never came up to you and gave her her card for you to be able to speak with her?
That's my mistake. I mean, I didn't know who she was at the time. So
Okay, but as you sit here now and after reading what you said back on March 8, 2022, is it in fact true that Detective Vanderlyn gave you her personal card for you to be able to reach out to her and tell her anything you wanted to say?
I mean, I couldn't really say it was true or not because I didn't know that was her or not. I didn't really like read the card to say that there was Detective Vanderlyn name or not.
So when you answered back on March 8th, when they asked you, did Detective Vanderlyn give you a card? You answered, yes, you did.
I mean, yes, because I was in court and I was nervous and under pressure. I didn't know if that was her or not, sir.
Okay. So even now, you're still not sure whether Detective Vanderlyn.
Come on, guys, hit that like button, please. Hit that like button.
Yes, sir.
In any event, you never called any police officers, did you?
No, sir.
And I think you said during direct examination that the reason you didn't call the police is because you heard sirens.
Yes, sir.
You just assumed that somebody else would call.
No, sir.
So I think you said on direct examination that there was a neighbor that said call 911.
I'm gonna pause for 1 second. Okay, he's being asked about why he didn't make the phone call. I want to say to you guys, please hit that like button, family. Okay, that makes it available for other people to see it. Don't cost you a single thing. Just hit the like button for me, please. Vanetta, absolutely. The state has already questioned him. This is the cross-examination. So I'm only reviewing the cross-examinations. They're far too lengthy. And so I'm just going to review the cross-examination. This is where they really challenge the testimony of the person. So this is what I want to view, okay? So for those of you guys, there is more to this, as Vignetta is correctly stating here, but it's the state asking them questions, and they don't go so hard. So I want you guys to hear the cross-examination, just as I showed you the cross-examination of his girlfriend, okay? While we waiting on those likes to get hit, family, Miss Shirley Mosley says, "What is this about?" Okay, this is a murder trial, okay, for Travis Rudolph. This escalated from him potentially cheating. Okay, so you have to hear this whole case to hear how it evolved. There's 2 parts I've already reviewed of it, but please just be here and watch this, and we'll talk about what it's about as we go on. Miss Mosley, Miss Shirley Mosley, we will catch you up. Okay, he held his own. He did, Queen. But I want you guys just to see the difference in the questioning that the state can ask a male versus a female. Okay. It's just unreal. Travis Rudolph was defending himself, in my opinion, but he's being tried for murder. Doreen, he played for the NFL. He played for the Giants. He played for the Jets. He gotten hurt, but he was rehabbing. He just gotten a contract with the CFL, and he was going to try to earn his way back into the NFL. But unfortunately, at this moment, he's facing life in prison. He is fighting for his life, family, okay, over a domestic dispute. It escalated from a domestic dispute. So, all right, family, let's get into it. Thank you for liking, family.
Right?
Yes, sir.
So the reason you didn't call 911 is because you just figured somebody else would?
Not figured. I knew somebody else would.
Okay. Why don't you call?
Why don't I call?
Yeah.
We heard sirens. We thought they was on their way. And plus, with the loud, they saying, oh, they on demon time. And before the gunshots, the neighbors, they could hear the commotion. And then you would think with gunshots, you hear loud gunshots. And then, I mean, it's basically, I ain't called because, like I said, I didn't trust, talking to him. Plus, I heard sirens. I heard a helicopter, as well as I heard somebody come out the door and yell, call the cops. So we thought that they was going to be on their way.
So that person that came outside, you don't know who that was, right?
Oh, it was
one thing I heard, family. He said, "I didn't call because I feared talking to him." Okay. And this part, the cross-examiner doesn't focus on, because his point ain't to validate how this man was feeling, and it makes too much sense that he said, I didn't feel comfortable calling, I didn't feel comfortable telling them. They would have probably thought I was the person who did this or had something to do with it. I was scared. A lot of times, us as Black men, we do not call the cops, but I want us to learn from this situation. This is the brother of Travis Rudolph, so he is watching this altercation go down between his brother and his brother's girlfriend. Okay, and he does not call the police to tell them about even the girlfriend hitting the brother, which she was clearly doing. She hit him in the head with a glass bottle. She broke his windows out with a brick. Okay, his window out with a brick. And never did he call the police, even on her. We don't call the police. And let's just be honest. I want you guys to put it in the comments. Okay, your brother, his girlfriend are in the house fighting. They going at it. Are you calling the police? Let's say even your girlfriend, she leaves the house threatening to do something to you. I'm gonna send somebody over here. I'm mad at you. She left the house after trying to hit you with something. She left the house after throwing something at you. Are you calling the police? Most men on here are gonna say, no, I'm not gonna call the police. Regardless of what threat she make, she can come at you with a knife. As long as you're not stabbed and you good, she could even cut you a little bit. To be honest with you, a lot of men are not about to pick up the phone and call the police on their girl. And he didn't call either. So it's one thing that Travis didn't do it, but his brother witnessed the whole thing and didn't do it. His mother was there and didn't call the police. So why is he fighting for his life? Yo, none of them decided to try and use the services that's here for us. But it's because in large part, we don't trust them. It's not our first instinct to call the police. Our first instinct is to respond with instinct. Okay, like fighting back, you know? It's not to say, let me call the police. We just don't act like that. But when you don't do that, family, you're not protecting yourself. You're not letting the police know what's going on. So when they come and question you and you didn't call them, yo, you look guilty because all this went on and you didn't call. I don't care if you heard sirens. That makes sense, though. I heard sirens, so I didn't call. I thought they were coming for us. Yeah, naturally, you would probably think that. But however, when he says I was afraid, I didn't feel comfortable talking to the police. I didn't trust that would go well. I wouldn't keep harping on it, but I want you guys to see that real quick.
Outside, you don't know who that was, right?
Oh, it was so.
Okay, but as you sit here now and after reading what you said back on March 8, 2022, is it in fact true that Detective Vanderlyn gave you her personal card for you to be able to reach out to her and tell her anything you wanted to say?
I mean, I couldn't really say it was true or not because I didn't know that was her. Now I didn't really like read the card to say that there was Detective Vanderlyn's name or not.
So when you answered back on March 8th, when they asked you, did Detective Vanderlyn give you a card? You answered, yes, you did.
I mean, yes, because I was in court and I was nervous and under pressure. I didn't know if that was her or not, sir.
Okay. So even now, you're still not sure whether Detective Vanderlyn gave you her card for you to talk to her, right?
Yes, sir.
In any event, you never called any police officers, did you?
No, sir.
And I think you said during direct examination that the reason you didn't call the police is because you heard sirens?
Yes, sir.
You just assumed that somebody else would call?
No, sir.
So I think you said on direct examination that there was a neighbor that said call 911, right?
Yes, sir.
So the reason you didn't call 911 is because you just figured somebody else would?
Not figured. I knew somebody else would.
Okay. Why don't you call?
Why don't I call?
Yeah.
We heard sirens. We thought they was on their way. And plus, with the loud, you know, they saying they on demon time. And before the gunshots, the neighbors, they could hear the commotion. And then you would think with gunshots, you hear loud gunshots. And then, you know, I mean, it's basically, I ain't called because, like I said, I didn't trust, you know, talking to them. Plus, I heard sirens. I heard the helicopter, as well as I heard somebody come out the door and yell, call the cops. So we thought that they was going to be on their way.
So that person that came outside, you don't know who that was, right?
It was one of our neighbors. I didn't even pay attention.
Was it a man or a woman? Do you know?
It was a male's voice.
Okay. And that male said, someone call the police, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. That someone could have been you, right?
Yes, sir.
You didn't do that, did you?
No, sir.
At that time, you're not sure those police officers are responding to your location, are you?
Can you repeat the question?
At that time, when you're walking back to your house, you don't know that those sirens are meant for what just happened, do you?
Yes, sir. I actually knew that those was.
How did you know that?
I mean, you could tell, like, they saying, like, how did I know? It was pretty much common sense.
Okay. So you end up walking back to your house, right?
Yes, sir.
You go inside your house, right?
Yes, sir.
Looking out the window, waiting for those cops to come?
No, sir. I mean, I was in fear, like walking back and forth inside my house, traumatized.
Okay. But my question is, once you're inside of your house, you have windows in that house, right?
Can you repeat the question?
You have windows in that house you lived in?
Yes, sir.
Could have looked out the window to see if any cops are coming, right?
Yes, sir.
Could have peeked out the window if you were truly afraid, right? Just to make sure that you could look out, maybe nobody sees you, right?
Yes, sir.
You didn't do that, did you?
No, sir.
You didn't come out and talk to the police officers that were outside, did you?
No, sir.
Your mother didn't either, did she?
No, sir.
I want to back up now. Let's go to.
Now, guys, what he means when he says your mother isn't, your mother didn't either. Now, Vanetta's right. She said that his mom wasn't there while the girl was. She came after she left. Absolutely. But she was there when all the shooting and stuff like that happened. So that's why the man is like, you go back in the house, you're pacing. Why didn't you call? Why didn't your mom call? Why didn't these people call? Right? So let's put yourself in his shoes, okay? You just watched your brother air out a car, possibly hitting people, possibly ending their lives. You just got jumped. Your brother just got jumped. You completely afraid that all this could come down on y'all. You walking through your house, you pacing. This just happened, right? What are you feeling, family? So he's asking the guy, what are you feeling? Of course, you would assume that the sirens are for you, right? You rob a bank, you hear gunshots, and all of a sudden you hear sirens. You just assume that they got wind of it, right? If I don't know anything that's going on, and I'm a couple blocks over, couple streets off that road, and I can't see what's going on. If I hear gunshots, pow, 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 right? Especially 36 gunshots, right? And then I hear sirens, I would assume that that's where the police are going, right? That's just what I would assume. Now, what did that mean? I would still call the cops? I don't know. I don't know. Possibly, panic and confusion, Sage in the city says. Fear, you probably would think, man, we going to jail. Even if you are innocent, even if you did protect yourself, just being honest, guys, as a black man or as a man who don't understand law or understand your rights, you'd be in fear. As what are the police gonna say or do when they get here? Okay, especially you don't watch the news and saw black people get put down for way less than that. You're thinking the police are hearing it was a shootout. If I call the police and they come to the place of the shootout and they see me, they're gonna think I'm black. Like, are they gonna listen to what I have to say, or are they gonna shoot first? I mean, these would be fears, right? I just want to be sure. I see. It looks like you guys are definitely agreeing with that. Yeah, you're in the moment, still traumatized, right? But I want you to understand something. With all that being said, notice how much the state is going in on this issue, because they want to point out that if you don't call, you must have had an agenda. It must have been malicious. You weren't truly protecting yourself because you didn't call the authorities. You didn't call the people who were licensed to handle this. So it comes off as vigilante. And that's why he's focusing so hard on, why didn't anybody call the police? If you're so innocent, why didn't anybody call? They're looking to get a murder conviction, family. And that's why they're going on this so hard. So men have to understand in this world that, we're not likely to call the police really on anybody, but especially a woman. But women will call. They will call on us. However, we are very reluctant to call on them. We think we can handle whatever situation it is, or we reduce it to she was just mad and she was just emotional. I want you to understand what you're risking when you don't call the police. You're not necessarily calling the police to get the girl locked up, but you need to call them and say what she said to you in case something happens. You're protecting yourself. Does this make sense? Hey, policeman, I got to let y'all know something. I'm not necessarily reporting a crime, but me and my girl just got into it super bad. Be honest. She caught me cheating on her. She did try to attack me. I'm not trying to press charges on that, but she did leave saying that it ain't over and she's going to send somebody to do something to me. Listen, I think that she's just mad, but I just want to let y'all know, because if something go down and somebody come over my house, I'm not letting somebody do something to me. I'm going to protect myself. I'm licensed to carry all this. I'm going to let them know. Have them come over. I'm gonna put a police report down, file a restraining order, take all the necessary precautions to make sure that if worst case scenario happens and this person acts on what they're saying, you would be potentially in the clear because you let them know of the issue. You understand? Failure to call the authorities is what they're trying to really go in on right here. And that's probably going to be one of the things that hurts all of them bad, because nobody called, right? Yeah, take videos as well. You should record that, even if you don't tell her you're recording. If you feel like she's acting in some kind of way where she's about to be terroristic, record that, okay? And let your closest friends know, let your parents know, call her parents, let them know. Hopefully they can call her and talk some damn sense into her. This is why I say meet the parents, family. If you as parents should want to meet this person who your child is dating and their parents, so y'all can be talking to each other and help your child to have a healthy relationship, because they're not mentally stable, man, especially when they're young. And if you didn't teach them the ins and outs of relationships and what to do in these horrible situations when you cheated on and when you hurt and when emotions are absolutely high, if you didn't teach them how to handle this stuff in these moments and they haven't been practicing, they're going to handle it badly. You can't have them just out here acting off instinct when they're hurt, family. You know how we get trained on exactly what to do in a tornado warning? You know how in school they say avoid windows because glass could be broken and fly around, right? It tells you to find these rooms with no windows. They tell you how to respond in case of a fire, and you practice these things, right? You even have the little fake fire alarms that they do, right? Where it's just for a test, but everybody still got to go outside, line up, get with your class, go outside, and then you finally get to go back in. I used to appreciate that because I was always hating class. So as soon as they gave that little alarm, I was like, hell yeah, boy. Take about 30, 40 minutes and stuff just to get out there good. Whatever class you was in, you was good that day. But you know, it trains you so in the event that happens, you're not panicking, just running around doing whatever. Does this make sense? So when in the heat of the moment, you'll do the protocol, right? You'll follow the steps, which can save your life, right? So what do you do in case of a tornado? What do you do in case you find that your partner's cheating on you? What do you do if you walk in the room and catch somebody red-handed cheating on you? What do you do when someone makes threats to you? What do you do as a man when she slaps you? What do you do? Don't react off your emotion. That's what's going to cost you your life. You should have a protocol to this stuff, and your parents should be teaching it. We should be teaching it to our kids, family. I'm telling you now. All right, but let's continue.
I guess late evening of April 6th. You remember that, right?
Can you repeat the question?
The events that took place kind of earlier in the evening with your brother and Dominique. You remember that as you sit there today, right?
Yes, sir.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
Listen, guys, put away your bias for a moment. I want you guys to imagine yourselves being him, okay? This is happening to your sibling, okay? This is happening to your sibling family, all right? You got jumped behind somebody sending someone to jump your sibling, okay? You go outside first. You're not going to let your sibling get jumped, right? So I want you guys just to put yourself in this mindset that this can happen just behind the person that your partner's dating. I'm going through some shit behind some domestic stuff with my brother, okay? And that person's tried to attack me. So I can definitely understand what this man has went through, okay? So put yourself into the mindset, family. Let's go.
Today, in court, you said that by the time the fight between Travis and Dominique gets outside, your testimony here today was that she tried to throw a brick or tried to grab a brick, right?
Yes, sir.
And to you, or maybe even your brother, you assumed that she was going to maybe try to wreck Travis's car in some fashion, right?
That's correct.
Your testimony here today was that you went and stopped her, right?
Yes, sir.
And I think you even said that she still had the Patron bottle in her hand at that time.
Yes, sir.
All right. And you were able to stop her from throwing the brick, right?
Yes, sir.
And that's when you said she started hitting Travis with a bottle, right?
Yes, sir.
Back during testimony today, you said you got hit with that bottle, didn't you?
No, I said I got hit while she was trying to hit Travis. I didn't say directly the bottle.
Okay, so during that, she struck you.
Yes, sir. Trying to reach over to hit Travis.
Back on March 8th, 2022, do you remember ever telling anyone that she actually hit you during that portion of the argument?
Yes, sir.
You did.
Okay, now with all due respect, Sage in the City, I want to say this, okay, because she said, dang, she is ruthless. She seems that way, right? But while we understanding what the brother is experiencing right here, let's remind ourselves of what the girl is experiencing so we can understand some of what her actions are right here, okay? She has been healing from cosmetic surgeries for over a month, okay? She hasn't seen her boyfriend that often during this month. He's been in Miami. She's uncomfortable, don't know what he's been doing, if he's been entertaining other women. Naturally, you feel this way. Naturally, you're probably not that high on your self-esteem because you've already went and opted to have this cosmetic surgery, right? So while she's sitting here going through this healing process, she's not seeing her man. They decide to link back up. Now, a couple of different stories have been told. They were on a break. They weren't on a break, but it sounds like they were on a break during this time. So this is more of a reason why she thinks he's probably entertaining other women. Our relationship is up in the air. I'm sitting here healing, can't get out the house like I was, can't interact like I was, and now he's off doing who knows what, right? So anyway, all of this leads her to go through this man's phone once they're back together. He's outside, he's unaware, but he has given her a password to his phone some time back. She looks at this as permission to go through his phone, right? She goes through his phone. She says she finds everything, videos, text messages, pictures. So he's caught red-handed, okay? She has him to FaceTime the girl that he's been interacting with, okay? He says, I imagine he's saying, ain't nothing going on. I'm telling you, it's nothing going on. She's just a friend. Well, she calls FaceTime for him and puts the phone up in his face so the girl couldn't see that she was there, right? During this interaction, she determines that it's much more than a platonic friendship. So she slams his phone in anger. You can understand the pain and the anger in that moment. You can hear her talking to him. She's probably saying things that is evidence of that they doing something. This is not just a friend. It's not just some homegirl. Y'all got something going on, right? So just put yourself in her shoes. You're emotional about that. You hot. You slam the phone. You break it. You start breaking things inside the house. Y'all cussing. Y'all screaming. But just imagine in the middle of her being mad at him, he's telling her, that girl I was just on FaceTime with, she got a better body than you anyway. Now just imagine this. You've been laying up bed rest, healing from cosmetic surgery. And the guy that you just caught cheating on you, even if y'all were on a break, it sounds like her feelings were very real that this man was with somebody else. And what he chose to do was provoke her, say some of the most god-awful things. Yo, your body ain't, your body is worse than the girls I'm dealing with body better than yours anyway. Man, just imagine you find out your girl cheating on you, and when you confront her about it, she go, his thing was bigger than yours anyway. He treated me better than yours anyway, right? He got a better job than you. He taller than you. He talked better than you. He everything. Just imagine how this would make you feel. This is terrorizing. So he was an emotional terrorizer, literally rubbing it in that he was cheating on her. So you got to understand how furious and painful. She's throwing shit. She mad. She throwing bricks. Absolutely, she is. She's trying to hit him. Is that wrong? Does he deserve to be hit because he said all of that? No. Is it a crime for hitting him? Yeah. Even if she says the worst to him, it ain't right to hit him. You can't do that. So, but she doesn't. She starts hitting him. Okay. Now there's a fight ensued, and that's what they're talking about. So I wouldn't say she's ruthless for how she's responding in the moment of finding out you got cheated on. Like in that moment, she ain't even, she's a totally different person. She's hurt. I'd give her the benefit of the doubt. But it's the leaving, calling your brothers, lying that night, still trying to find out what happened, encouraging it. 2 years later, still trying to cover up your guilt and your contribution to it. That's what's crazy, right? But men need to know that they should expect the worst case scenario when you out cheating on women. I don't care if you a man, you lying to her. She don't expect you to be doing this. When she finds out, because she's so emotional, and I'm not giving her excuses, but you cheated. You can't expect the best from this person. You shouldn't even be with somebody if you can't honor your commitments anyway. You don't know the maturity or the mental fortitude of the person that you with and what they will do with that type of pain. You cheating on them, you hurting them. You don't know what they're gonna do. And there are rules to engagement, but don't put your hands on nobody. Don't lie on nobody. All that stuff goes out the window when somebody is furious. All those rules seem to only apply when ain't nobody did nothing to you. In the moment that you hurt, you angry, all that stuff seems to go out the window. So you risking that when you cheating on a person. You don't know how mature they are to handle stuff, man. So you really setting yourself up for the worst out here cheating on people, doing them wrong like this. All right. How she handled it was wrong. But I mean, how can you sit here and judge how somebody responded to somebody that's literally going around cheating on them and doing them dirty? And if he wasn't cheating, when she found out, if you see somebody that you just had come over your house, you're supposed to love them. You're supposed to care about them. Even if you wasn't cheating and y'all was on a break and she's as mad as if you were cheating. If you can see the pain in this person's face, if you can see that they're tore up from what they even believe you did, it don't have to be logical. Don't provoke that. That is crazy. And that's what he did. He provoked it, man. So let's continue. Just factor in that she ain't doing this for no reason now. Okay. Let's continue.
Yes, sir.
You said that during your testimony.
Yes, sir.
I like the comment. She's a hypocrite, though. She had a whole husband. You absolutely right. How many times y'all cheat on a man who's cheated on y'all? Ain't he a hypocrite? He cheated on you, but he hurt that you cheated on him, right? Okay, because he's a hypocrite, does that mean his feelings ain't real? They are, right? So if you go, if he catch you cheating, and then you go, well, you was cheating on me, that's what you get. If you say that in that moment where he just found out you cheating on him, you think he's supposed to say, you know what, you got a good point, you right, that makes sense. He's emotional. Logic ain't gonna work. So you a hypocrite, all that kind of stuff. Hey, she is definitely wrong for manipulating him and playing him and not saying she was married. But him looking her in the face saying such and such got a better body than yours, I don't think she's gonna factor in, you know what, that's messed up what he said, but man, I am married and I was lying and covering it up and I totally didn't tell him. So let me just let that not matter. Nope. You're gonna be lost in the moment, and all that's gonna matter is what that person said to you and your feelings about it, and you're gonna respond. All right, but let's continue, family. Thank you so much. Wood with the Sticks says great video earlier, bro. Yep, go check out the page, family. I just dropped one. I got another one coming soon, family. Let's go though.
And then after the brick part, that's when the bottle part happens, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. You asked your brother to come outside, and
Family, so I didn't take it.
here is that she picked. Do you remember during that hearing, sir, that you said that actually after the brick part, that during that hearing you said that your brother got hit with the Patron bottle first and then the brick thing happened? Do you remember saying it that way back on March 8th, 2022?
No, sir.
If I showed you that section, would that help refresh your memory as to whether you said that?
Yes, sir.
We'll come back to that one too.
He's a much better cross.
But your testimony here is that she picked up a brick and then she picked up, or then she hit him with the bottle and then she eventually left, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, after she attacks him, you say that, and during this attack, you're saying that she's saying threatening things about how she's going to get her brothers to come over, and what was it exactly?
Can you repeat the question?
What was she saying her brothers were going to do to your brother during that argument?
She was saying, she's going to get her brothers going to fuck Travis up.
Okay. Did you take that seriously?
No, sir.
Why not?
Because I saw Dominique as a little sister and I thought she loved our family, so I didn't take it seriously at all.
People can say things out of anger, right?
Now, y'all hear that, right? She blatantly said, I'm going to send my brothers over here to F you up. Told him with her mouth, right? And what did he say? I didn't believe her. I looked at her like a little sister, and I didn't think she'd do all of this. Had she been over the house at least 5 times a week? Was she close with the family and mother? Yes. So absolutely, he got every reason in his mind to think she wouldn't do it. But should he have still called the police? Because that's why he's in this position, right? Because she did it. She did that. Because regardless of how tight she was with his family, when she felt wronged by this man, when he said things to her to infuriate her, she didn't care anymore. Even though she says, I look at his mother like my mother, she was willing to take that mother's son from her because her son cheated on her. You understand? I've been standing over this house 5 days a week, and I still send my family to come shoot his shit up, including the house. He didn't believe a threat that was made directly to his face because he felt like, hey, I know her better than that. She won't do that. How people act, family, and how they act when they mad is far different. Don't put it past them. If they're willing to say that out their mouth, you better take the precautions to protect yourself, because if they act on it, that's your ass for not taking the precautions. All right. So we're reviewing this because I want us to learn from other people's mistakes and not our own. A wise man learns from other people's mistakes. A fool learns from their own. Let's all approach this as wise men today and women today. All right. Let's learn from other people's mistakes. We can talk about all day about what's right and wrong. She could have walked away though. She didn't have to do this though. She still didn't have to do that though. We do all this talking after the crimes have been committed and the people lay rest in the ground. What we're not understanding is people don't have to do what's right. So we can sit here and complain about what the person did to the other after the fact, but guess what? They don't have to do what's right. So you do know that, right? So don't do people wrong because they don't have to do what's right. They don't. They don't even have to do what's right if you didn't do them wrong. So that's not right. That's wrong. That right and wrong shit don't seem to put boundaries on people do it. Telling them they was right, telling them they were wrong, it don't seem to put boundaries on people do it. It seems that they are motivated by their emotions, not right and wrong. That's why you need mental training, because you ain't going to be living your life based on right and wrong. You're going to be living it based on how you feel. If you're angry, you're going to act mad. You're going to do something that mad people do. You understand? And then at the end of it, people are going to say, well, he shouldn't have done. His reason going to be because I was mad. Her reason going to be because I was mad. I'm saying this to you because you got to understand, you have people and human beings in your life that are not perfect, who live on many different vibrations of life. They have many different understandings, many different upbringings, many different backgrounds, cultural backgrounds. Okay. These people that surround you, you don't know them like that. So if you don't respect yourself enough to have boundaries on yourself, you're going to move any kind of way. And those people will be affected that's around you. And the way they handle you not being honest, the way they handle you being deceitful and lying and doing wrong things to them, it ain't going to be how against in your playbook on how they acted out. So you're just going to be upset, complaining about how they handle it. Leave people alone. Stop mixing up with crazy ass people. Consequences happen. Do you understand that, family? We're supposed to teach our children how to navigate life like a defensive driver, right? Staying away from people who you know make rash decisions. And the people that's in your life, you absolutely don't do them wrong. They may do you wrong, but you don't do them wrong. You understand? Because when you do somebody wrong, you don't know how they're going to respond. You understand? But let's go, guys. I'm going to let this play for a while.
Possibly.
Possibly people can say things out of anger?
Sometimes.
Sometimes, right? Depends on the circumstance.
Depends.
So sometimes people out of anger can say things they don't mean, right?
Yes, sir.
Isn't that why you didn't take her seriously? Because you didn't think that that's what was going to happen, right?
Correct.
Now, during that argument, I think you said you came back, you had just gotten your car washed, right?
That's correct.
You said you thought maybe something was wrong with how the guy did it, basically, right?
Yes, sir.
You asked your brother to come outside and confirm or not confirm whether it was a bad job on your car, correct?
That's correct.
All right. And then how long do you say you all were out talking about the car? Approximately. I'm not going to hold you down to an exact minute, but how long were you outside talking to him about the car wash?
Probably about maybe 5 minutes.
Okay. And then you said when you got back in the house, you saw Dominique Jones holding your brother's cell phone, right?
Correct.
Now, I think you also said that they dated for about a year around that time.
Somewhere like that. I can't really. I mean, I wasn't really paying attention to their relationship, so I can't give you an approximate, but I'd say it seemed like a year.
Okay. And just like you said, you weren't, every time Travis would come home, you wouldn't say, hey, how are things with Dominique? Tell me all the details, right?
Correct.
You just kind of let him do his thing when it came to him and Dominique.
Correct.
All right. So in terms of their relationship, did you know whether or not he provided her with his passcode to his phone if she wanted to look in?
No, sir.
You didn't know that?
No, sir.
All right. So you wouldn't know whether he gave permission for her to look through that phone, right?
That's correct.
All right. But in any event, when you come back inside, she is upset, right?
Yes, sir.
Can you tell why she was upset?
She was upset by some girl named Kyla.
Was she upset that she thought he might have been cheating on her?
I mean, that's what it seemed like.
All right. And again, I think you said, do you know if he was seeing other women at that point in time?
No, sir.
Is it possible he was?
I mean, it's possible. I mean, they both weren't in no serious relationship, to be honest with you.
How do you know they weren't in a serious relationship?
I mean, they just ain't seem too serious to me.
Hey, but aren't you the one that says I didn't really pay attention to the relationship?
Yes, sir. But I mean, it's common sense.
Okay, well, common sense. Weren't you the one that said she slept over basically 5 nights a week?
Yes, sir.
You'd call that not a serious relationship.
Honestly, you want me to give you an honest answer?
I'm asking yes or no. Is that a serious relationship if somebody's sleeping over 5 times during a week?
No, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the answer, he's already answered the question. Did you have something else to add to that?
Yes, sir.
All
Yeah,
right, go
exactly. I
ahead.
was gonna say it just seemed like shacking up. I mean, they weren't married.
Okay.
Yeah.
You don't know if they had any conversations about being married, right?
No, sir.
So it's possible they were even talking about that.
Yes, it's possible.
Now, you mentioned you saw her as a little sister, right?
That's correct.
All right. But still not a serious relationship between the two.
That's correct.
Now, you said there was some incident back on Valentine's Day of 2021 then, correct?
Correct.
Present for that.
Yes, sir.
That's where you said she physically was violent with Travis, right?
Yes, sir.
But isn't it true that you thought that it was just a little argument that day?
Yes, sir.
All right. So even her getting physical with your brother, you characterized it as just a little argument on Valentine's Day, right?
If that's what I said, then yes,
I'm
sir.
asking you.
To my around that particular time.
I'm asking you, did you consider that Valentine's Day argument a little one?
No, sir, it's not.
Guys, one of the things that Wood with the Sticks said, Daryl is very respectful and truthful. He is. I want you guys to notice the demeanor is different. He's not arms crossed up. He's not resting on his head, resting on his hand. He has a totally different demeanor, which shows that he respects the court and he knows this is a serious moment for him. He knows it's a serious moment for his brother. So this is a person who's taking what's happening very seriously. Can you see that the difference here? How he's answering his questions without being smart, without being sassy and all this type of stuff, deflective and changing the subject. And you notice the difference in his responses, family? Can you imagine if he did get up here acting that way, what would happen to him? You think they would allow him to get up here and act that way? I want you guys to see the difference, the clear differences in the world between men and women, okay? And how we're treated, what we're allowed to, how we're allowed to behave, okay? Also, one of the points I want to make is he says their relationship wasn't that serious because they weren't married or anything, but he does also say, I consider her a little sister. So I would say if they were in a serious relationship and he recognized they were in a serious relationship, I think that's beautiful that he sees her as a little sister because that is going to be your new family, okay? That would eventually be his sister-in-law. So that means he's welcomed her into the family. But if you don't think they're serious and you think that that's just one of the many girls that your brother messing with, why do you see her as a sister? We have to stop this. We got to stop living through our siblings' relationship. She ain't like no sister. Why? Because y'all hung out a couple times and she was nice to you? No, keep her where she's supposed to be. Your brother didn't make her serious yet, so don't start doing that. Okay? Like I'm not going to get serious and say a dude is like my brother when my sister ain't even serious about him. He may be cool. He may be friendly, but I ain't about to say he like my brother and my sister ain't even serious about him. And especially if I know my sister playing him and doing all kind of stuff, I'm going to feel sorry for the little guy. I'm not going to get real close with him because they're not serious, family. So he didn't call the police because he felt like that's my little sister, but also, he thought that relationship wasn't really built on nothing. Let's continue, man.
Showing opposing counsel the transcript from March 8, 2022, page 117, lines 3 through 6. 117? Yep, 117, 3 through 6. She
shouldn't have been living there. Shoot, I halfway agree. His mom's is there. It's her crib. You staying with your mom's right now, man. You don't should nobody be living with you right now. You're trying to get your own life together. You're trying to get back on your own feet. She can go home 5 nights a week. especially if they're not getting along. You're not about to be over my house. Like if my children have they significant others come to the house every now and then, that's fine. But if they in here arguing and all that kind of stuff, man, they ain't coming back over here like that. You crazy.
So isn't it true, sir, that back on March 8th, 2022, when you were asked about that Valentine's Day incident, you stated, but I ain't really take it like seriously because I thought that they was just going through like a little Valentine's, a little argument. That's what you said back on March 8th, right?
Yes, sir.
It's still your testimony today that it was not a little argument. It was something bigger than that.
That's correct.
So it's different than what you said on March 8th, 2022, right?
Yes, sir.
So, your brother got assaulted by Dominique?
Yes, sir.
Your brother stronger than Dominique?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Did there come a point in time where he did touch her when they were out in the lawn?
I mean, when you try to stop Dominique from beating him up,
My question did there come a point in time where he did put his hands on her?
Yes, sir.
Now, before that, you can understand why Dominique was upset, right?
That's a good question. Don't
Overruled. It's a reasonable question.
You can understand why she was upset at your brother, right?
Yes, sir.
It's understandable that when a girlfriend finds out that maybe she's not the only one, they can be upset over that fact, right?
Yes, sir. That's true.
So that fight didn't really start because of Dominique, did it?
Yes, it did start because of Dominique.
The fight started because Dominique found out about what your brother was doing with other women. Isn't that right?
No, sir.
Well, isn't your testimony that the first things coming out of her mouth is who's Kyra? Who's Kyra?
It started because she went through Travis's phone.
Right.
Without
Oh,
permission. That's how it started.
You said without his permission?
I want to get with the people in the chat, okay? What's your take on this, okay? She went through his phone without asking. He was outside and she went through his phone without asking, okay? Now, keep in mind, she is married. She is married. She couldn't marry this man today if he wanted to marry her. She hasn't told him of this marriage either, okay? But they are in this relationship type thing. She does feel like he could be doing something. He did give her the password. Not today, though. Do you feel like that is a wrong on her part? That what she did was starting it? Or when she discovered that he was cheating, that was starting it? Which one, guys? I can see either way, okay? I've seen a lot of people react that way. They get caught cheating, and the first thing they say is, why you go through my phone? It's like, yo, even if I went through your phone and I was wrong, I found it. So, okay, do you want to break up with me for going through your phone? Because if not, I want to discuss this cheating shit. I mean, what you saying, right? She was wrong. She went looking for trouble. I don't know. I disagree. I don't think you go looking for trouble. I think you want to see if the person's cheating, and if you find it, there will be trouble. But I wouldn't criticize the person for going through the phone, But considering that she was married, they are not married. There doesn't seem that there's a real relationship. There was a break. No, she didn't have a right to go through his phone. But I think this tit for tat thing they're trying to do is say, okay, he started it by cheating, right? No, she started it by going through the phone. What started what? How did he start it by cheating? This interaction is what we're talking about. What's illegal here, sir? We're not talking about who started it, because I don't think legalities are based on who started it. So if he calls her out of her name and she starts hitting him, the question is calling her out of her name illegal? No, it's not. Is hitting him illegal? Yes. So let's just say a man hits a woman for something that she said, okay? Is he wrong? Is it illegal? When the police show up to arrest him and he has hit her and she goes, well, I was talking junk to him and called him a B several times and then he hit me. Yeah, that's right. She was calling me names. That's why I hit her. Is he still going to jail? Is it still illegal to hit her? Right. So it's not illegal to go through somebody's phone. It's not illegal to be cheating on your girlfriend. It's not illegal to even insult them and say, your body ain't that good. But what is illegal is making physical contact, hitting someone. Those other things are something you should make a decision on, right? Someone's treating you those other ways, they are not illegal. But if you don't like a person treating you that way, leave them alone. But that's not illegal. It's not illegal to mistreat someone. You understand? So it's like the lawyers trying to set it up on who started it. What was illegal? What actions were illegal here? What illegal action did Travis do? He didn't hit her to hurt her. He was getting her off of him. Why was he getting her off of him? Because she was on him. Now it's a tit for tat. Well, who did something first? Let's justify why she was hitting him. Yo, come on now. Ain't no justifications for hitting, right? That's what y'all believe, right, women? Ain't no justification for that man to hit you. I don't care if you cheat. I don't care if he walk in and catch you cheating. If he go through your phone and find out you cheating on him, is that a justification for him to go upside of your head? No, right? You're still going to say no. So it ain't no justification for her to go upside of his, right? She should have left. You ain't got to hit. If he said something mean to you, then he just said something mean to you. You ain't got to hit. But let's continue.
That's correct.
Again, you don't know whether he gave her passcode back in the day and said, go ahead and look through it if you need to, right?
That's correct.
You're saying here today she didn't have permission. Right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So she was very angry about this potential other woman, right?
Yes, sir.
So they were fighting over the fact that maybe he was being unfaithful in that relationship, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. So she's very angry, and you said that your brother tried to calm her down, right?
Yes, sir.
So he didn't just say get out of the house right away or anything like that, right?
No, sir.
Okay. And I think you said they were kind of jawing back and forth, right?
Correct.
And then you went into your room because, hey, I don't got time for this, basically, right?
Yes, sir.
And then I think you said that you got brought back outside because maybe the commotion started back up again, right?
Yes, sir.
And at that point is when you come out and you hear your brother saying to Dominique, you just mad because Kyla has a better body than Dominique, right?
Yes, sir.
Not a nice thing to say to your girlfriend, is it?
Yeah, I agree with that.
Right? You wouldn't do that, right?
No, sir.
Not a wise
Sir, I mean, I see.
Listen, he
So
sounds
the
like,
point being, you can understand why she.
he sounds like me too, because I'd have been like, bruh, why you saying that? Bruh, chill. I would be sitting there like, bro, how dare you? I ain't built like that. I'm just not about to be sitting here insulting somebody, being mean to them, saying shit I know that would traumatize them for possibly years to come. I'm just not a demon, man. I'm just not. So the brother agrees. Yeah, that's absolutely wrong. I wouldn't have. No. So it ain't like he up here just telling lies to protect his brother. He telling the absolute truth. I do not agree with how he was talking to her right there. So obviously this to me is showing that, yo, he ain't up here being deceitful. He could have said, he didn't call her that no names. He didn't say nothing to her. But she deserved it. You should have saw what she did. He ain't doing none of that. He just saying, yeah, that wasn't right. This is how I wish women would act. When you acknowledge in a situation, a breakdown of how a situation happened, I wish they could look at it and say, yeah, that part wasn't right. And that wasn't right. And then that was, and then that wasn't. But what will happen is they'll argue every little thing that they did into being right. It's just, it makes no sense. Well, this man is being honest. My brother wasn't right in everything that he did. This is a real conversation, family. Let's get to it.
You got upset after your brother said that.
Of course, yes, sir.
All right. And it wasn't until he said that Dominique started insulting him, from what you could hear, right?
Not insulting him. This after she started hitting him after he said that.
Okay, so let me just get the timeline clear. He says that comment. What does she do right away?
So as soon as he said, Dominique, you just mad because Kyla got a better body than yours, that's when Dominique started punching Travis.
I thought your testimony here today was she started calling him a broke bitch and saying, don't disrespect me first.
Well, she said that first, but then after that, she started hitting him.
All right, so just so we're clear then, as soon as he says that, that's when Dominique starts calling him a broke bitch.
Broke,
right?
yeah, broke bitch or broke ass nigga.
And she said, don't disrespect me, right?
That's correct.
Would you agree? He did disrespect her with that sentence.
Yo,
I mean,
woo!
it was a low blow.
Just imagine this, family, okay? There's a one that, just imagine this. It's the other way around, okay? He found out she was cheating. And she go, you just mad because he got a better body than yours or a bigger thing than yours or more money or whatever, right? Okay, and say the man said, don't you disrespect me, you beat and hit her. Blah, right? Now imagine this. Do you think a lawyer is going to say, but she did disrespect him, didn't she? Didn't she though? Yo, ain't nobody going to care about them verbal disrespects. Absolutely, he disrespected her. But in another scenario, yo, Would they say that? That's so inconsiderate of the woman, right? They wouldn't say that. She did disrespect him though. So yeah, he went upside her head. She shouldn't have said that. Like, it's like he's trying to look over and justify her hitting the guy. So yeah, that's messed up what he said. Here's why it's messed up. Clearly she's mad because he's had interactions with another woman. Clearly she's upset because she didn't expect that, right? And what he did is chose to tell her why she was mad. Absolutely toxic. Remember the time my brother White did that shit? You just mad because your rap career ain't taking off. You just mad because your music ain't on the radio. You just mad because you just mad. You just mad because you just mad. It's unreal. How you gonna tell me why I'm mad? Crazy? Yeah, you just mad because Kayla got a better body than you. Yo, he asking for it. Don't you disrespect me, you broke mother, you broke N-word, you broke B. But she's hitting. What does this tell you? That she did the illegal thing first. She hit him. He's trying to fight to justify this, but he did disrespect her, didn't he? Now, I want you guys to see how damaging this guy is to him. In a few, he's going to be talking about getting jumped. And they're going to be saying, well, he's going to be saying stuff like, but you didn't die, though. You here, though. They would never talk to a woman like that who has been assaulted, ever. But this is the world we live in, family. Men, they don't care about you, man. Let's go.
I agree.
Right.
Yes, sir.
So then she starts hitting Travis, right?
After she said that Travis was a broke bitch and a broke nigga, all the other stuff.
Okay. That's when she started hitting him.
Yes, sir.
Open fist, closed fist. You remember?
Closed fist.
All right. How many times did she punch him?
I want to count.
Can't even guess?
Guess probably maybe about 5-6 times.
Okay. And is that when you got in between the two of them, try to break them up again?
That's correct.
All right. Did it work?
No, sir.
Well, eventually she didn't just keep hitting him 6, 7, 8, 9 times when you broke him up, right?
Can you repeat the question?
She hit him about 5 or 6 times, right?
Right.
And you stepped in the middle of it to try to get it to end, right?
That's correct.
So did she keep hitting him after that?
No, sir.
All right. So it stopped.
For a little bit.
Right. So you were successful, right? At least at that point. Now getting it to kind of stop on your own, right?
I don't think I was successful at all. To be honest with you.
For that moment.
For that moment.
Wasn't punching anybody, right?
No, sir.
All right. You were the referee at that point in your own home, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. So I think you said now the fighting stops and they both go into, I guess, Travis's bedroom.
Yes, sir.
Now, listen, that's a big problem right there, guys. Obviously, I'm pausing it, but in hindsight, you gotta we're listening at this to learn, okay? So he said he got in between it, and so he stopped the fight for a little bit. Right there, when he stopped that fight, he should have turned and looked at Kayla and said, "You need to leave, or I will call the cops. I don't care what Travis says. He ain't gonna stop me from calling the cops. You need to leave. I'm protecting you. If Travis was to snap right now and hit you back, yo, it's a wrap, and you not gonna think he got a right to do that. You're gonna play the victim and act like he's trying to kill you and try to get him punished for it, but you sitting here hitting on him." Somebody put in the comments, yeah, he can take them hits. Tell yourself that crazy logic if you want to, that you keep hitting that man if you want to, thinking that he can just take your hits and that should be okay because he's strong enough to take it. Yo, that's like your child hitting you because you can take those hits. Yeah, your child, can they run off and hit you? Yeah, your child, you know how babies run off and just slap you and stuff. What y'all do to them babies when they do that? Turn around and hit them back, don't you? So you know there ain't no justification for that. That man may feel like, who the hell you think you is hitting somebody as strong as him? And he might want to teach you a lesson just because of how stupid he think it is that you would even lift your hand to him. You think every man gonna say, "I'm stronger, I'll just take it"? Yo, you know he gotta agree with them dumbass rules you making. If you say he's stronger than me, he should just take me punching him. Yo, you know he gotta agree with that, right? So if that in that small chance he don't agree with that and he go upside of your head, yo, that's your life. Are you serious? Better keep your hands off that man and just move around. Do you know how? Listen, it's crazy. It's like me going outside and trying to beat up my damn Malinois because he made me mad. I parked Lacey's car in the garage the other day. This joker done bit up the door handles, bit off the damn back quarter panel of the car. I mean, he ate her car. Yo, you think I'm about to go in there and square up with him? I have a disciplinary measure for him. I put him in a kennel. He got to take some time between that to understand what he did. I'm not about to go in there and square up with this Malinois. He'll eat me alive. And if he decides to fight back, because I think he my dog, I should just get to punish him. I'm hitting him back. And he turn around and bite the shit out of me. Now what? Oh, he wrong, right? Oh, how dare you bite your owner? Some understanding that he don't even have. You hollering off hitting this man, and if no matter how he react, he gonna be wrong. Y'all better chill out on that stuff. He's stronger than me. He's stronger than me, hell. If he's stronger than you, keep your damn hands off of him. If he that much stronger than you, you know hitting him ain't gonna do a damn thing. Leave him alone. That's how you hurt him. Leave him alone. You be the one that got away. He'll forever remember you. He'll forever regret what he did to you. Prove your value by walking away from him and not stooping to his level. And I promise you, he'll always respect you. He'll always want you back. He'll never get his mind off of you because you left him for his bad behavior. That's how you teach a man a damn lesson. Y'all want to whoop him like he your child. Are you crazy? A lot of dudes be like, if you hit me, I'm hitting your ass back. They're not going to care that you're stronger. That don't work in male and other male scenarios. If a man hit another man, he don't say, well, he ain't but 5'3". He don't weigh but a $105 soaking wet. Let me let this man hit me because I'm stronger. That ain't no thought that go through nobody's mind. And I'm sure if you a 6'6" woman and a 5'2" girl come up and still off on you, hit you in your damn head, you ain't going to say, well, I am stronger than her, so it's okay. Like the person that's being hit don't ever factor no shit in like that. So you better get that out of your head before you go out in this world and try to navigate off some weird ass rules that don't nobody understand but you, and you get your damn head taken off. Yo, that ain't wise. Let's continue. But anyway, what I was going to say is I would have told her to leave. I'm not letting them go back in the room together. I'm the big brother. You at my mama's house. You at our house. I'm taking control of this situation. Bruh, she got to go. And you got to go with it if you got a problem with that. I'm pulling rank on this. And I don't care what you say. I'm calling the police, bro. This can't go no further. You need to go, and you need to come back whenever y'all can talk with a level head. But they go back into the room where there's nobody around but them to have a fucking Royal Rumble. Why would you allow two people like that to go to the room and they can't even handle themselves in front of you outside in the front yard? Let's continue.
Do they shut the door when they go in there?
After that, I wasn't even paying attention. I just went to my room, so I wasn't even really paying attention to if they closed the door or not.
Okay, so you saw them go into the room, right?
No, didn't see them go into the room.
How do you know they went in their bedroom then?
Wait, can you repeat the question?
Yeah. You break up the fight, and I think you said after Dominique Jones was hitting him, then they went in the room.
Correct.
You said, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
How do you know they went in the room?
Oh, I actually saw him go in the room.
Okay, so when you saw him go in the room, they shut the door behind him?
Yes, sir. They shut it.
Okay, so you do remember them doing that?
Yes, sir.
And then after the door closes, is that when you go to your bedroom?
That's correct.
Do you think at that point, I think you even testified on direct that you were hoping that was the last part of the argument and they were going to work it out in their bedroom, right?
Yes, sir.
This was right after Dominique had struck your brother 5 to 6 times?
Can you repeat the question?
They go into the bedroom, and this is after she had struck him 5 to 6 times, gotten physical with him, right?
That's correct.
You just thought it was a good idea to let them go in the bedroom by themselves?
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, after that, what do you do when you go back in your room?
Can't remember what I did when I went back in my room.
Okay.
Can't remember.
But there comes a point in time where you say you hear the commotion starting up again outside in the living room, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you go back outside, right?
That's correct.
And I think you said she was in a psychotic rage, Dominique Jones, right?
Yes, sir.
Now, during that, I think you also said, though, that Travis is still antagonizing her. Didn't you say that today?
I said they both was antagonizing each other.
Okay, so
Yeah.
Dominique Jones is yelling at him, right?
Correct.
Is he staying silent?
No, sir.
Did he just stay in his bedroom?
No, sir.
Did he go somewhere else?
Yes, sir.
Talking about during the argument, did he just leave and not say anything to Dominique when she's going after him like that?
No, sir.
Okay. He stayed and participated in that argument, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. And I think you said that at some point, then Dominique goes outside, right? And the argument now is...
Now, guys, imagine you're talking about a toxic encounter between a man and woman, but you're talking to the woman who got hit. Do you think they would be saying to her, but you participated in that argument, didn't you? Every time he said something back, you also had something back to say, didn't you? Yep. So you was there for all of that, right? Like trying to show her how she contributed to her own abuse, right? To show her how her actions led up to what happened to her. Do they do that, or they just justify everything? Well, he shouldn't have hit you. I have never seen them put a woman through this type of stuff, through this type of questioning whenever she is saying somebody did something to her. They never justify that man's behavior or his emotion through what she was doing to provoke him. But right here, they want to talk about how much he kept contributing to it and fanning the flames, right? Is this a real thing? Absolutely. But on the other table, we don't do that. That's what I mean by not holding women accountable. He should be doing this. I don't have a problem with this, but I do have a problem when that's not done the other way around. That she was just up on the stand and nobody was going back and forth with her like that. You was inflaming the situation too. You was talking to him too, wasn't you? You hit him first, didn't you? Yep, you did, right? Like, why are they not doing that? But let's continue. Because she was able to leave and say, he slammed me twice and he did this and he did that. Why wasn't it? But what did you do to him? What did you say to him? It was just we going over there to shoot his shit up, right? Right. Let's go.
Happening outside.
Yes, sir.
I think your testimony was that you were trying to get Travis to go back in the house, right?
Like there was like in the middle, like after that when wait, can you repeat the question?
Yeah. So once the argument goes outside, you stated in direct examination that you were trying to get Travis to come back in the house. Again, you're being the ref trying to get this fight to end, right?
Right.
All right. And that's when you said that at a certain point, she goes back inside the house and wants to get her Patron bottle, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. And then she comes back out of the house with the Patron bottle, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And that's where you said that she first picks up a brick, right, to try to throw it at the car.
Yes, sir.
And then she hits Travis with the bottle.
Yes, that's after we get the brick out of her hands.
Okay. So is it at the point in time where she's going back in to get the Patron bottle where your brother says, hey, you know, come get this bitch or something to that effect on the Ring doorbell video?
Yes, sir.
I think you remembered exactly what it was. Can you say it again?
Can you repeat the question?
What did your brother say as he's coming back in the house right before he gets punched by Dominique?
He says, open this door, bro, because this bitch got me fucked up.
So he called his girlfriend a bitch again, right?
Yes, sir.
Think it's a natural reaction from Dominique to smack him in the face after that?
Oh,
Over.
you hear that play on words? So he gets a natural reaction from Dominique to smack him in the face after that. Didn't he already say that they were punches? And why did you call it a natural reaction? So when she called him a bitch, would it have been a natural reaction for him to go upside of her head? A natural reaction? So he keeps trying to reduce what she did. It's a natural reaction. What? And it wasn't a slap. It was several punches. You guys saw the video, right? There's a video that, through the Ring camera that takes place on the front porch where he literally said, yo, open the door because this B got me effed up. And she just started punching him. He turns around and lowers her hands like, yo, chill. Let's go.
Ruled.
Can you repeat the question?
How long? I'll withdraw that one.
Nah. Look.
How long after he said
He withdrew the question. Nah. No, I want that question, sir, because that shows you. This exposes you. You just called it a natural reaction and then called it a slap. And then when he said, can you repeat the question? I love this brother right here and how he's responding on the stand. He's doing amazing. He's kicking their ass, not with deceit, but with clarity. When he says, can you repeat the question? It gives him time to think about it. Okay, so he's not saying weird shit so he can think about it. He's simply saying, can you repeat the question so he can think about it? Yesterday, what Dominique would do is she would say a whole bunch of weird shit. Is that a question or an assumption? And what she's doing is seeking for the answer, but let me do this to you while I try to find the answer, because I can't just say, let me think about it, or will you repeat the question, right? It's crazy. What he says is, can you repeat the question? It gathers him time to think so he can hear that question again, and it shows the cross-examiner here what their question is leading to, right? This natural response, right? Natural response. And that natural response was slapping. Yo, you wrong about all of that, but I'll withdraw the question. Of course you will, because you know it was a messed up question. Let's continue.
the word bitch to his girlfriend, did she smack him in the face?
Like,
No.
you mean start punching him in his face? Like immediately, as soon as he said that.
So as soon as she heard the word bitch coming from her boyfriend's mouth, she smacked him upside his head, right?
Yeah, she started punching him.
See,
That's the point where then she
y'all,
gets.
you see, you see, he trying to move him to slap, right? He keeps saying it's punches, but he keeps trying his way to finagle in that it was a slap instead of a punch. This little wordplay shit. This dude is deceptive. See, now you can see this. Look, she was being deceptive up on the stand earlier, but now it's the lawyer who's being deceptive. You're trying to trick him. Now, see, watch this. Are you really here to get questions answered, or are you trying to trick him into saying something that's untrue to help out the prosecution? This ain't no honest deliberation, man. This ain't no honest cross-examination. Can y'all see this? Why you keep saying slap, sir? We already said it was punches, closed fist. And you saw the damn camera. You know it was punches. When he withdrew the question, notice his next question involved punches. And then when he responded, he came back with the it smacks again. Watch this. You got to pay attention, family. They're trying to get you, try to slip you up. That's what I mean by being a sentient being, listening and responding adequately, not just moving, family. You got to be aware of the moment or you're going to lose.
Can you repeat the question?
What did your brother say as he's coming back in the house right before he gets punched by Dominique?
He says, open this door, bro, because this bitch got me fucked up.
So he called his girlfriend a bitch again, right?
Yes, sir.
I think it's a natural reaction from Dominique to smack him in the face after that.
Overruled.
Watch the next question.
Can you repeat the question?
How long? I'll withdraw that one.
All right.
How long after he said the word bitch to his girlfriend did she smack him in the face?
Like,
No.
you mean you start punching him in his face?
Right.
Like immediately, as soon as he said that.
So as soon as she heard the word bitch coming from her boyfriend's mouth, she smacked him upside his head, right?
Yeah, she started punching him.
Right.
That's
Punch.
the point where then she ends up on the lawn on her butt, right?
Like when I'm getting like trying to diffuse him to, yes.
Eventually she ends up on her rear end out on the lawn, like that video shows, right?
Yes, sir.
But according to you, your brother, it's basically like she tripped on her own, right? He had nothing to do with her falling.
That's correct.
All right. All of this happens, then eventually Dominique decides to leave, right?
No, sir.
She doesn't ever leave that house after all this takes place?
Something like after the, no, it was.
You hear the second question? So after all this happened, Dominique decides to leave, right? No, sir. Why don't he say, oh, so what happened? Why does he say she didn't decide to leave at all? Because he don't really want what went on in here, because he know that right there convicts Dominique, and it shows that Travis isn't as guilty as they're trying to make him. So it's like, did she not leave at all? So you telling me that if I say she didn't leave on her own after this, you're saying you take from me saying no, that she didn't leave after this, that she didn't leave at all? One thing don't mean the other, man. Ask an adequate question that says you're trying to know what really happened here, not trying to form some narrative, man. Put me on the stand. I wasn't even there, but damn it, let's go.
It was more to that.
Okay. So Patron bottle part happens. She falls down. She gets back up. At what point does she leave? What's the last thing that happens before she walks out?
The last thing that happened was, I remember me and my brother, we go, like we actually get ready to go back into the house. Then Dominique, she cranks up a car and leave.
Okay. Before she leaves, I think you said that she was threatening you, right?
Yes, sir.
Or not you, maybe more so your brother.
Correct.
What was she saying? What were those threats?
I'm gonna come get my brothers to come fuck you up, Travis. You fucked with the wrong girl.
What time was that about when she's saying that?
Like 11 o'clock.
So at this point, Dominique had struck your brother multiple times, right?
That's correct.
Hit him with a Patron bottle, right?
That's correct.
And threatened to have people come over and kill him, basically, to you, right?
That's correct.
So once she leaves, when do you call the police about what Dominique had just done at your house?
Can you repeat the question?
Yep. After all that was over, all the threats, all the hitting, all that stuff from Dominique Jones, and she leaves, when did you call the police to tell them everything that had just happened in that house?
Never.
Never did.
Yes, sir.
In fact, after all this happened, right, you were yelling at your brother. You were upset with the way he acted during that, right?
I was upset with bringing this. Can I explain?
Well, here's my question. Were you upset with the way your brother handled that situation in that house?
No, sir.
Thought he acted appropriately the whole time?
I didn't think he acted appropriately, but I wasn't like necessarily mad with him during that particular.
Okay. So on the Ring doorbell videos, when we see you storming out of the house, being all mad, your testimony here today is it wasn't you were mad at your brother for anything that he did. You were just mad over the situation.
Yes, sir.
All right. I think you say now you're at home, everybody's awake, right, in the house, and now you start getting even more threats, right?
Yes, sir.
This is coming from other people. That's not Dominique, right?
Yes, sir.
Those people are basically telling you, hey, they're coming over to your house to mess you up, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. But it's your testimony that when somebody knocks on the door, this is about an hour after all those threats came out, right?
Yes, sir.
That when those boys were knocking on the door, you thought it was the police?
You mean those grown men that was knocking on the door?
When they came to the door, you
Yeah,
thought it was the
100%.
police, right?
Yes, sir.
You didn't call the police.
You see how he keeps manipulating words, those boys, right, instead of men? Now, you know, black people are always considered men. Always. It can be 12 years old and he a grown-ass man, okay? But when it's black on black crime, they get to be boys. I bet they ain't been called boys by police in their whole life right here. Except for right here, man. They boys today, because boys makes it sound more youthful, immature, don't really understand the world, right? Boys. Why are you calling them boys? And then when he asked Kitty to explain, the lawyer didn't let him because earlier whenever state was questioning him, he said that what he was yelling at his brother about was he was angry that he keeps bringing that girl to the house and they fighting like this. So this wasn't the first fight. So he actually said in the earlier examination that the reason he and his brother had this huge argument wasn't because he was upset with how his brother acted. He was upset that his brother keeps bringing this girl around back to his mama house and she keeps breaking stuff. They keep going at it. So you as a brother would be absolutely upset at your little brother if he keep bringing this girl back up in the house, right? So for a moment, family, I want to talk about this, okay? When it comes to raising your family to protect itself, okay, there has to be a hierarchy and an understanding, a protocol, if you will. So the mother and father is to always be respected by the children. They gave you life. You are not here to judge your parents and disrespect them, even if you disagree. They gave you life. They are older than you. They've lived longer than you. They have more of an understanding of the world than you. So when they make their decisions, they are looking into the future and making those decisions with your best interest in mind. So even if you think there's a different way to handle this, you want to go out with your friends, you want to do something that they're saying don't do, you got to listen to them. Those are your authority figures. And when you get out in this world, and you're grown, then you can challenge what people have to say. But you got to trust your parents, trust that they love you, that they mean you well, and they're doing their best to lead you in the right way in your life. You got to respect your parents. Now, that's the first step, is the hierarchy, is your parents or your gods. You wouldn't even be able to see this beautiful planet if they didn't create you. Do you understand? Let's not be living and judging them. They're your gods. Love them as such. Next, your brothers and your sisters. You are your brothers and sisters' keeper. Do you understand that? You owe it to your mother and father, your gods, to protect their legacy. So if somebody's doing something to your brother or sister, which is their son or daughter, you are there. You remember when you was first having kids and you said, I want a boy first so he can protect my daughter. I want my sons, my brothers to look out for each other. I want them to protect each other. Because if you just have one child out here going through school and stuff alone, they are at risk of being jumped, bullied, all types of things happening to them, right? But if you have children and siblings, you almost got some protectors for them, right? So regardless of whether you get along with your siblings, you are their keepers. This is the hierarchy that should be taught, okay? Whether or not you like your parents, they are your gods and should be trusted and honored more than you will honor anybody, because they gave you life. There may be somebody who got better character than your parents, who have more than your parents. They may be more driven, can do more in life, give you more than your parents. They may be better communicators than your parents, but they didn't give you life. So your parents should have the utmost honor and respect and dignity from you, because without them, you wouldn't even be there to look up to this role model. They didn't give you life, family. All right. So, and you owe it to them to protect their offspring, which is your siblings, regardless of y'all relationship with each other. Whether you like each other or not, like each other's laugh at each other's jokes, get along, have the same personality type, it doesn't matter. Never see my brothers or sisters because of personality differences. Try them if you want to, though. Yeah, because I love my brothers and sisters. I am their keeper. I don't got to like them. We don't have to agree personality-wise. We don't have to have the same religions, beliefs, none of that. But I'm going to protect my sister and brother. You understand that? So that being said, once you understand this hierarchy, hopefully your children won't leave their family for some person they dating. Because what will happen is when the family speaks up, your brother's keeper, your brother who is your keeper, your sister who is your keeper, your parents who only have your best interest at heart. When they tell you this person ain't good for you, what happens is you're ready to throw out your whole family. Well, I like this person anyway. Man, what is wrong with you? I don't care how much you like that person. You should trust your family. If your whole family is telling you this person ain't good for you, you need to listen to your family. Do you understand? And if you did this, the people that you with would carry themselves better because they would know it ain't necessarily up to you. They wouldn't treat you any kind of way knowing that you would just keep them around anyway. No. If their family get wind of how they treating you, their family gonna speak up and say, listen, son or daughter, listen, brother or sister. This is an intervention. This is like you see your child on drugs or they own alcohol real bad. They breaking in the house, stealing your radio, right? Breaking in the stores, robbing banks because they're trying to get this drug money so they can get their necks fixed. You're going to sit them down and you're going to tell them from the bottom of your heart what their addiction is doing to you and the family and the risk that they're putting themselves in, the damage they're causing the family, right? Okay, you got this girl inside of your house that's arguing back and forth with your brother inside your mama house and she breaking shit. Why are you not calling an intervention? When that woman leaves, you need to sit down with your brother and tell him, yo, you disrespecting the whole family. She was just in here breaking stuff, cussing you out, hitting you in your mama house. You're going against all hierarchy, all principles that we stand on. Blood thicker than water. We don't play that. Now, we all witnessed how this woman talked to you and how she spoke to you, how she hit you. Get rid of her. Bottom line. And as a family, support your siblings while they go through the heartbreak, because it's not going to feel good having your family tell you this person ain't good for you. But you're blinded by love. Love is blind as hell, yo. They looking at this situation from the outside looking in. You thinking of all the precious good moments, how good the sex is. So you're not really weighing the damage this person can cause you. Your family, however, you got to trust their eyes, man. They love you. They love you. So they don't want your heart to be broken, but they care more about your life, your livelihood, your reputation, and your future, which ultimately belongs to your tribe. You're supposed to live a long life so your parents can pass on what they left to you. And you're supposed to protect that and then pass that on to your children. If you out here fucking every time Dick and Susie, speaking for men and women, you're not thinking about your legacy that is your parents. Yo, you're not just out here on your own to do what you want to do. It won't be it to the families who taught us this. We don't have no damn structure. It's not just you out here on your own on an island. You got a whole family. Your family needs you. You owe your family. They gave you life. You owe them offspring. You got to make the family multiply. You out here living like I'm just living for my happiness. If this person make me happy, I don't care how damaging they are to me and my family. I'm going to stay with them. Man, that's crazy. Yeah, trust their wisdom. Trust their love for you. They all putting their minds together. They all see this, man. See, they're not doing that. So he's still with this damn hard-headed ass woman that'll break his shit at his mama's house. She ain't got no respect for nobody's stuff. I'm mad, so I'm going to break stuff in the house I'm in. It ain't my house. It ain't my stuff, but I'm blah, blah, blah. Yo, she ain't got the mental maturity to be able to handle being upset or handle no relationship. Get rid of her. But we don't care nothing about our family. We're not really raised with no principles and structures as to how important our family is. We'll just defy our family. Fuck them for how this new person make us feel. And your family out here ain't got a word. They can even input on your relationship because, right, they ain't got no right to speak on nothing, right? Man, damn. Your family trying to protect you. You know they ain't trying to use you. They're not trying to get over on you. They love you. They grew up with you. They knew you when you wasn't shit. And then your closest friends that you grew up and went to high school with, man, trust them more than you would these new people that you meet. They grew up with you. I think about to the people I grew up with: James Davis, Sean Logan, Warren, Bradley, Daniel, Cody Logan, Nick Phillips, Man, those guys would never turn their back on me and tell lies about my character. But I've met people after them that I tried to befriend, and they did that exact thing, tried to steal from me, tried to lie on me, do me dirty. But those dudes I grew up with and went to high school with, middle school with, we got bonds that we had long before we were ever anything. But guess what? I barely call those guys. Not because nothing they did to me. And here I am out here trying to make new friends, and those friends stab me in the damn back. Yo, that's wild. Stop trusting these new damn people. And if you met somebody trying to date them, that's a new person. That ain't somebody you grew up with. You don't really know them. You don't know their family like that. You don't know their character like that. You don't. You ain't grow up together. Let's be real. Shoot, it just hit me, man. I'm about to call all my friends, man, and rekindle our flame, and let's link up and do something. The friends I walked away from would have never done me like that. Never, yo. I'm out here trying to befriend new people. That shit crazy as hell. Let's continue, though.
Did you?
No, sir.
No one told you any police officers have been called.
Yes, sir.
And you've been told over and over and over again that these people were coming over to your house.
That's correct.
And I think you saw, or you know, right in your basic living room, there's a big monitor that shows all those cameras that you got installed in the house, right?
Yes, sir.
And one of those views is, in fact, your front door, right?
Yes, sir.
So you're telling this jury that before you opened up that door, you had no idea who was outside. You thought it was the police.
Yes, sir.
All right. Why do you think it was the police?
I mean, that's how police is knocked. So I assumed like that this girl, I'm not taking that threat serious at all. So I said, who else could it be at 12 o'clock at night except for it's the police?
When that knock comes, doesn't that ring a bell in your head that maybe the threats were serious?
No, sir. I didn't take it serious until I actually walked outside.
Okay. So you didn't look outside to see who was knocking at your door at 12 o'clock, midnight, right?
No, sir.
Didn't look out a window,
I should have.
but you didn't, right?
That's correct.
You just came right outside, even though all those threats had been made an hour before, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. And it's because you didn't think that they meant anything, right? You didn't think they were serious, correct?
No, sir. I did not take a threat serious.
So then you said that you go outside, and correct me if I'm wrong, when you go outside and see these four men, you don't see any gun in their hands, right?
No, sir. Not at that moment.
They didn't tell you they were there to kill you, right?
You tell me we're at the door doing the whole altercation.
Right when you first went outside, they were asking for Travis, right?
Yes, sir.
They weren't asking for you, right?
No, sir.
They weren't asking for your mom, right?
No, sir.
They weren't asking for your sister, right?
No, sir.
They said they wanted to talk to Travis, right?
That's correct.
Now, it's your belief, right, that if you were in their shoes, the four men that came up, that you now know who they were, and you got the same story from your sister about her boyfriend potentially committing domestic violence against them, it's your opinion that you would have called that person first to try to figure out whether it's true or false, right?
Yes, sir.
Do you know whether or not they tried to call his phone before they came over?
No, sir.
Okay. So if they tried to call and he didn't pick up, that would have been the first thing that you would have done, right? Try to talk to him on the phone. Get it all sorted out that way, right?
Yes, sir.
But you don't know whether or not he was ignoring those phone calls, do you?
Now, right, guys, the problem with this line of questioning here is to try and justify those four men driving to this man's house at midnight. It's like to justify, well, if they would have answered the phone, they wouldn't have came over there. So he said that what he would have done if his sister came and told him that abuse happened to her, he would have called the guy. Okay, let's say the guy doesn't answer the phone. Would you go over his house at 12 midnight with three other men and bang on his door? Why didn't he ask him that question? Because that's a better question, right? Because instead of that, he's trying to justify why it would be okay to go to this man's house because he didn't answer the phone. You don't know if they called or not, do you? No, I don't know if they called or not, but because his phone was broke. And then now he wants to go into some type of argument about, well, you don't know, could the phone be used? How you know it was really all the way broke? Like as if it's their fault for not answering the phone to prevent those four armed men from showing up at your damn front porch at 12 o'clock at night. Yo, you don't show up at nobody's porch, period. Period. If I'm calling you trying to find out if you hit my sister, if you don't answer the phone, if I'm gonna handle it on my own, I'll see you out. I ain't driving to your house. I don't even think it's okay to show up and talk if I didn't alarm you first, let you know first. So if you're not answering the phone, I definitely don't think it's okay to show up to your house. And not even that I'm looking for what's okay to do, being that you hit my sister. I just know it's not going to be in my best interest to show up at your house if I know I ain't coming for no good reason. If I know things can escalate, I know I ain't got no good mind for you right now. You've been hitting my sister. I'm not coming with the diplomacy that I would normally come with. My sister just came and told me you hit on her, right? But you don't have a right to show up at their house. That would be considered vigilante. So it would be, bro, if you don't answer the phone, we're gonna call my sister gonna go ahead and call the police and go about it the legal way, because you're not trying to talk about it so we can find out what's going on. But just watch how he justifies this. Like it's okay for 4 men to go up to your house, though. Watch this.
Can you repeat the question?
You don't know whether those calls were made and whether he ignored them, do you?
No, sir. His phone was broke.
Okay. If there's phone records about showing maybe around that time that it was rejected, the phone call, that would mean his phone wasn't broke, right?
Overruled.
Right?
His phone was broke. So
How do you know it was broken?
because Travis showed me that the girl broke his phone and it had spider webs on it.
Okay. You ever crack a phone face before? Ever have to get it fixed?
Oh, plenty of times.
Right? Doesn't mean you can't use the phone, right?
No, the way she slammed the phone, it was like literally broken. Like you can't really use it.
Did you try to use it?
Travis tried and he couldn't. He showed me. I was right there with him.
Okay. But did you?
Like what I'm saying is this whole argument's over, is the phone really broken? Not that 4 men shouldn't show up at your house whether or not your phone is broken. Even if he hit reject on the phone call, if you don't want to talk to them, okay, now it's okay for them to drive to his house? Come on, man. Chill out. Let's be real.
You try to use it.
No, sir.
You ever try to make an outgoing phone call?
Can you repeat that question?
You ever try to make an outgoing phone call with that phone?
No, sir.
You ever try to send a text message from that phone?
No, sir.
When you were there were no calls coming into that phone at that point in time, right?
Can you repeat the question?
You didn't hear the phone ringing or anything like that. You weren't next to the phone the entire time that night, right? Travis's phone.
No, sir.
All right. So it's possible that it could have still gotten calls and he didn't want to pick up, right?
His phone was broke.
Okay. So now I think your testimony was that you're outside and they're asking for Travis. And I think you said that the reason you didn't go back into your house is because you felt threatened.
Yes, sir. Because they wasn't asking for Travis. They was demanding for Travis.
Okay. But not you, right?
Correct.
You could have said, okay, I'll go get him, and went back in the house, right? And then never came back outside.
No, sir.
Why not?
Because I felt threatened. I was in fear for my life. You got guys. First of all, before Travis even came out, they was cussing me out, saying, you know, where Travis at? And Sebastian was calling me a fuck nigga, saying we ain't gotta listen to you, fuck nigga. We ain't gotta listen to what you got to say. So at that point, I felt threatened now, and I felt in fear for my life.
Okay. So at that point, why didn't you just say, okay, I'll go in the house and go get him, and then just not come back out?
Can you repeat the question?
At that point, Tyler's threatening you. They're all threatening you, saying, we demand Travis come outside. You could have just said, okay, let me go get him, and went in the house and locked the door.
I couldn't because I felt cornered. You got like 4 or 5 guys.
So like you got 4 or 5 guys outside, right? Your mama's in the house, yo. In this house that they show up at the doorstep knocking at. They saying, fuck nigga. They talking shit. You think those guys are going away because you go back inside and lock the door? That's what this dude up here trying to suggest. Why don't you just go back in the house and lock the door? They would have went home peacefully, right? I mean, once they called and couldn't get you, and they went on ahead and made the drive over, I'm sure if you wouldn't have came to the door at this point, they would have just went home and waited until another day. I'm sure. It didn't sound like it was that urgent to the guys. What world do you live in where somebody show up at your door knocking, cussing you out, where you get to lock the door, go back inside, and they just walk away? What the hell are you talking about? His mama in there. He's a cat backed into a corner. He said he don't want to turn his back because in situations like that, they'll pop you in the back of your head as soon as you turn around. But even if you felt like they'll let him go back in the house, yo, my mama in here. I'm gonna stay outside too. You not, nah, heck nah. I am my brother's keeper. I'm gonna hope somebody on the inside might be already calling the cops, but I'm not going in the house and letting them pull out their guns and shoot the house up. You crazy. Why didn't you just walk away and close the door and lock it? They would have went away like the big bad wolves when you made your house of bricks. Nah, they would have treated their house like it was the house of sticks, like it was the house of straw. They would have blew that motherfucker down. This ain't the Three Little Pigs. You got 4 men at your damn door with guns. Why didn't you just lock the door and go inside and hide under your bed? What the? Let's go, man.
Guys in front of you making threats. I feel like if I turned my back, they was gonna try to they was gonna try to kill me.
You wouldn't have to turn your back, right? You just
Moon, you could just
I mean,
into the house.
right back into the house.
So if you're around 4 or 5 guys, I don't care if it's your front door stuff, just in general, jurors, if you got 4 or 5 guys like you and you're cornered, you're not gonna use critical thinking skills because you're in fear for your life. So I couldn't think like, oh, let me just go back inside. Like I'm cornered.
Okay. What does cornered mean to you, sir?
Literally, my back is by the door, and you got 4 or 5 guys in front of me.
Cornered would mean there's nowhere to escape, right?
Yes, sir.
The door was right behind you, wasn't it?
Yes, sir.
So you could have escaped through the door that was right behind
No.
you, right?
No, sir.
Okay.
No.
But in any event,
no, sir. Locking my front door is not me escaping these 4 assailants at my front door. No, it's not. I would never be escaping just because I locked the door. No, that doesn't save me. And what cornered means is out of options. I'm out of options. These 4 men are in front of me. I realize by the way they're acting, there ain't no way out of this one. I'm in fear for my life. They're saying, I don't got to listen to this fuck nigga. You can tell that it's violent speech happening. You can see in their face, you can feel the nin coming off of them, right? You can escape. Just go in the house and close your front door. Man, you got to be kidding me. Let's continue.
they didn't pull out any guns at that point in time, right?
No, sir.
All right. Now, did they try to force themselves into the house?
No, sir.
Never tried to just barge in past you, the one guy outside, to go force themselves to talk to Travis?
No, sir.
All right. Travis came out on his own volition, right? He decided to come outside.
Yes, sir.
Right. And you got them cameras inside of the house where if someone's inside the house, they can see everything going on right on the porch, right?
Yes, sir.
Despite that, your brother came out to this threatening situation you were in, right?
Imagine 4 men showing up at your crib ready to start some shit and you being questioned about how you acted when that happened, right? That's crazy, ain't it? 4 men showed up at your place, okay? And somehow he got the heat for him right here. He didn't tell them 4 men to show up. Your mother in the house, you don't just sit here and leave those 4 men out there hoping that they go away silently and come back another day. It ain't errands. Who do you think this is? Rent-A-Center? This ain't Rent-A-Center. The Rent-A-Center can see you sitting in your damn living room. You ain't got to go to the door. Eventually, they'll get tired. They'll leave. They only got so much they can do. They're going to leave that damn door thing on your door. And you're going to have a couch for another day, ain't you? You done seen Rent-A-Center pulling up and running the house. They saw your ass. They still can't come in because they got rules, right? But these 4 men at your doorstep, they think you just hit their sister, right? This ain't errands. This ain't Rent-A-Center, okay? This is crazy, man. Let's continue.
Right.
Yes, sir.
And according to you, as soon as he comes out, it's Keyshawn that starts threatening him, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. When Keyshawn starts threatening him, does he go back inside the house?
No, sir.
Okay. Does he try to hide behind you?
No, sir.
Okay.
Sharon Kennard, if you're wondering why you just got blocked, it's because you just accused me of still posting other people's content, which I've never done. My wisdom, my intellect, my research, all of that is my content. I'm using my intellect, my research, my mind to review videos, family. It's my content. But a lot of you haters say that. And so what I started to do and decided I would do is just block everybody who comes with those assertions because they're not here they're not here to learn. You understand? They're just here to make trouble, right? But let's continue.
He starts interacting with them, right?
That's correct.
What is your brother telling them at that point in time?
He's trying to diffuse the situation, like
Wow.
trying to tell like Keyshawn, listen, bro, let me explain to you what's going on. And Keyshawn cussing him out, saying, you know, no fuck nigga, like you like put your hands on my sister, like you got the wrong girl. And that's when they all kept saying that.
Okay. Did your brother apologize for what had happened to them?
No, sir. He was just trying to explain like what took place, because it's two sides of every story.
Okay. Did your brother start telling them, yeah, I did, you know, make fun of her body?
No, sir.
You didn't say that, right?
No, sir.
He didn't talk about the fact that he might have been in another relationship with somebody, right? And that's what she was upset over.
Can you repeat the question?
Did he admit to all of them? Yeah, man, I messed up. I got caught cheating on her. I'm sorry. Did he ever say something like that?
He didn't get a chance to. Like they immediately, like within like 3-4 seconds of Travis trying to explain to Keyshawn, like all of them start jumping on him. He didn't have a chance to even explain.
Okay.
He couldn't explain himself.
So is it your testimony that all of them jumped on him at once?
Yes, sir. Well, no, not well, after Tyler sucker punched Travis, that's when they all started jumping.
I remember you saying that on direct examination that Tyler came out of nowhere and punched your brother, right?
That's correct.
How'd he come out of nowhere? He was standing right in front of you guys, right?
It's a metaphor saying like he just came like real fast and sucker punched Travis.
Right.
Okay. I think you were the one that said that your brother has extremely quick reflexes, right?
That's correct.
Wasn't able to dodge that somehow?
See how
These
disrespectful that
guys seem
shit is?
pretty strong and fast. And
Do you see how disrespectful that shit is? He just got stole on, okay? Suddenly, he just got hit without warning. And this man said, but Travis pretty fast and strong, right? He couldn't have ducked that shit. They don't care about us, man. They don't care about us. Y'all notice that? Right? You pretty fast. Why didn't you duck? Just imagine you trying to tell them that somebody assaulted you, right? They just hit me, man. But you could have ducked though, right? You could have dodged it. What the? This is what I mean. Men be offing themselves because they live in a world that is completely illogical. You trying to tell something that happened to your brother. Now your brother's sitting over there fighting for his life, okay? And you sitting here like going through this traumatizing day where both of y'all almost died. And you tell them that this man hit your brother out of nowhere. Once you express that nowhere means suddenly and without warning, this mother effer gonna say, but don't he got fast reflexes? Couldn't he have ducked a sudden punch that was without warning? Man, are you kidding me? So anyway, the response is, look, it don't matter if you have fast reflexes. I mean, you act like this Bruce Lee or something. Like, this is not TV. It's basically what Daryl is saying here. Let's go ahead.
they seem very, they seem like they knew how to fight. So, I mean, just because you play football don't mean you supposed to be Superman or Bruce Lee from the movies or something.
You just said they seemed like they knew how to fight. How do you know that?
Because they basically they almost killed us. Basically, they basically beat us up in front of our mother. They had us sore, so they knew, like, they knew what they was doing.
Okay. Did you go to the hospital after this?
No, sir.
This is after they aggressively assaulted you, all four of them, basically 2-on-1.
Now, see, this is us. We're gonna glance over that they basically almost killed us. They beat us up in front of our mother. We were hurt. The way they orchestrated the whole thing, you could tell they knew what they were doing. Now, if a woman said this happened to her, okay, we're not about to go, well, did you go to the hospital? The way the injuries must have not been that damn serious, because, I mean, you didn't go to the hospital, right? You just said they beat us up in front of our mother. Did she go to the hospital? She said he's picked up and slammed her twice, right? Did she go to the hospital? So why are we not saying, well, he couldn't have done that damn much to you, you didn't go to the hospital, right? This is crazy, man. Let's continue.
At any given time?
Sometimes it'd be 2, sometimes it'd be 3, sometimes it'd be 1 for like 5 seconds, and then there'd be another 2 to 3. Like they kept switching up. Sometimes my brother would be fighting 3, or I'll be fighting 3, or he'll be fighting 2, or I'll be fighting 2. They'll just keep like they never gave us a chance to even like we were just defenses out there, basically.
So despite all of that, though, you didn't have injury serious enough where you went to the hospital, right?
No, I had some serious injuries.
Okay, but did you go to the hospital for them?
No, sir.
You're still, God willing, God bless, you're still sitting here with us today, right?
That's correct.
So they were not life-threatening injuries since you didn't get any medical attention, right?
I was sore.
Okay, but they weren't life-threatening, right, sir?
Yes. I don't know, sir.
Okay.
So again, we're going to try to reduce what those guys did to you. And this whole line of questions stemmed from they looked like they knew what they were doing, right? They looked like they knew what they were doing. So now you're going to ask these questions about his injuries. And if he called the police, what, to take away from the fact that they looked like they knew what they was doing? He got his ass whooped. He said they completely manhandled us. We couldn't even get him off of us. It was 3-on-1 sometimes when one would be fighting you off so you can't go help your brother. And it's, imagine fighting 3 men at one time. And now you got to fight one guy and try to get away from him to go break it up. But if you turn your back on him, you still can get socked in the back of the head. So you got to be strategic. Yeah, it sounds like they knew what they was doing. It's irrelevant whether he went to the hospital or not. That's irrelevant. He said it looked like they knew what they were doing. Let me just say a whole bunch of weird shit to try and do away with your point that you just said. It wasn't that serious if y'all didn't go to the hospital about it. Well, then what happened to her wasn't that serious if she didn't go to the hospital about it. But all this time they've been talking about how bruised she was, but they already said the other men who she told about this injury, they said she wasn't bruised. But they'll try and spread lies and say she was bruised. But if he says we were sore, obviously he probably had bruises, but he's black. They probably don't show up on us as much. And then we don't cry victim like that to be saying what happened. But he should have went to the hospital, because if you take this to on stand, you see they'll try to use stuff like that. You not calling the police is you doing something wrong. You not calling the police after somebody went upside of your head is like a crime. You not going to the hospital after somebody jumped you is like a crime. When you're discussing the crimes made against you, you not reporting the crime, you not going to the hospital will be treated like a crime instead of discussing what the hell just happened to you. You see this, right? But if this was a woman saying this man beat on me, they're not going to be saying, well, did it leave a bruise? Did you go to the hospital? Did you call the police after? Well, why didn't you do that? Why didn't you go? Let's continue.
So you say they all start jumping Travis, and it looks like to you that they're trying to kill him, right?
They was trying to kill him.
Okay. When did you go inside and get one of those guns that your brother owns?
I didn't have a chance to.
Why not?
Because, like, put yourself in my position. If you see your brother with 4 or 5 guys on him, regardless of you can't fight or not, let's be really honest. What would you do if you see your younger brother with 4 or 5 guys on him?
If I know I have a gun in the house and my brother's being beaten to death, you're asking me what I would do?
It was a 5-2. It was happening so fast, sir. All I thought, listen, I already lost my father, so I'm traumatized by that. Jury's already lost my father. I'm traumatized by that. What was my nephew? All I could think about when these 4 or 5 guys fiercely assaulting my brother, all I thought was they trying to kill my brother. They trying to take his life away. So as me trying to be the older brother, I'm trying to pull these guys off of my brother. Now I'm being fiercely assaulted. So it's
okay. So back to my question. You never decided to go in and try to grab one of those guns that you knew your brother had?
No, sir. I'm trying to get these guys off of my brother.
And I think it's at that point, there's, according to you, you're saying y'all on demon time, and according to you, is a matter of life and death, right?
Yes, sir.
It's very serious, right?
Very, very serious.
And when we talk about why you end up, I guess everybody ends up, but why you in particular end up kind of around the road from the house you lived in, I think it was because you said you needed to create distance, right?
Correct.
Could have created distance by going back in your house, right?
Sir, I didn't have time to, sir.
Well, you had time to create distance going down the road, but you had no time to try to go back into your house?
Sir, I saw about 4 or 5 guys trying to kill my brother. I can't just leave my brother out there being, like, sir, they could have killed my brother, sir.
Right.
So I supposed to just go back in the house when my brother being beat up?
Well, my question was, during your direct examination, you said you were trying to create distance between you and the gentlemen that were attacking you, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so one way you could have created distance between you and the attackers was to go back inside your house, right?
No, sir. My brother was still out there being like fiercely assaulted, sir.
Okay. Then why were you trying to create distance between you and your brother, if that's the case?
Sir, you talking about on the grass or when?
So, like, listen, if he's saying I'm being jumped, okay, they seem to know what they're doing. I'm trying to create distance. Now think about this. Well, I've been jumped. I've been in fights where it was more of them than us, and you got to worry about more than one person. So I grew up like that. Okay, every time I went to a certain town or city, it was these group of guys that was going to start stuff with you. They knew who we were. We knew who they were. And we would always go to different house parties or stuff like that. And typically those guys would be there. Some of them would be. And as soon as we saw them, we knew it was about to go down. Okay. So I've been there. And I've watched somebody who came with us get beat all the way down the street by those guys. We was outnumbered that day. All right. We stood our ground. But one of the dudes that came with us, he got beat all the way down the street, family. Because when these guys are coming at you, you'll be backing up quick, because you don't want to just stand still and let them come up and start punching on you, grabbing you, scooping you, and whatnot. So you will try and create space so these two guys can't engage with you, right? And try to fight one off and then try to back up, get off the other one. So you can see how somebody can back you all the way down the street or back you away from it. And they can do this and push you this way. They can both stand in front of you this way and come at you and push you that way, because they know you're not going to stand still and just let them come at you, punching you, right? You're going to back up because you got to create distance. And this is what he's doing. Apparently this guy that's cross-examining him ain't never been in no fight before, has never been jumped before. And he's thinking closing distance is you go into the house. No, that's leaving your brother out here to get destroyed. What you mean? You don't take your eyes off your brother with 4 men. You know how strong men are? Do you know how strong men are? One hit could kill you. Landing wrong could kill you. I don't know if you guys remember a while back, these kids used to have this game called the knockout game. And what they would do is just run up behind regular pedestrians walking down the street and just sock them in the back of their head, right? This black kid, he was probably 12 to 14. He saw a white man walking down the street. Okay, look like, I think the dude had a briefcase and everything, probably coming from work. He skipped up behind him, whap, hit him in the back of the head, ended his life. Okay, a punch now. A punch. Okay, men are very strong. A physical fight could mean death. You don't leave your brother here to get stomped out. You don't. He would be right in that instant. He didn't have time to go away and go find no gun and then run back outside. Whatever happened, they could have injured his brother and ran off before he even got back outside. But let's continue, family.
When the fights broke into 2 different sections.
All right, let's start with the first part of the fight.
Correct.
Did you try to create distance between yourself and these men that were attacking everybody?
No, sir. I'm trying to get these guys off my brother. Now I'm being fiercely assaulted.
Okay. Now, after that happens, what point in time comes up that you, quote, try to create distance between yourself and these men?
What point of time?
Yeah, when during this fight, you said it on direct. You said, I tried to create distance between myself and people attacking.
Oh,
when did you do that?
When I'm being jumped by Sebastian and Chris Lowe.
Okay. How did you get down the road already at that point?
Sir, they basically like, they was basically like fiercely attacking me down that way, towards that way. If you get what I'm saying, like it's like you're being jumped and you're trying to, like, you can't just stand still to be an easy target. You're trying to have some type of distance.
Okay. And so you chose
trying to spread out.
So you went further away from your home to create this distance that you were looking for, right?
Trying to.
Okay. Now, I think you said at a point in time that you're getting attacked by Sebastian, right?
Correct.
And that's now on Redwood, right?
Yes, sir.
Down the road?
Yes, sir.
I think you said it was halfway between your house and ultimately where that black Cadillac was, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And how did you get out of that situation again? How did you get Sebastian to stop punching you, kicking you, anything?
That time I couldn't get him to stop, sir.
Okay. But it did stop, right?
No, sir.
Sebastian kicking, punching you, doing anything like that, it never came to an end.
It came to an end at one point, but not like what timeline are you putting this at?
I'm asking you, when you were in that fight with Sebastian in the middle of the road, in between your house and where the black Cadillac was. How did that fight stop? Why did Sebastian stop hitting
It did not stop, sir.
you? Okay.
Because Chris Lowe came out of nowhere and sucker punched me. Now I'm fighting both of them.
Okay.
So it never stopped.
Did that come to an end?
During that timeline, it didn't.
Okay. Did there come a point in time where Chris and Sebastian stopped hitting you or kicking you or punching you?
Yes, sir.
When was that?
When I saw my brother running towards me, that's when it stopped.
Okay. What did they do?
They was cussing me out, and then they ran to I guess Keyshawn's mom's car.
Okay. So they turned around and went back to the car, right?
That's correct.
This is before any shots were fired or anything like that, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. So they were going away from you at that point in time, right?
Yes, sir.
They weren't punching you anymore.
No, sir.
Weren't kicking you no more, right?
No, sir.
Right, yo.
Weren't threatening you,
Roberto
threatening
Roberts.
you
Absolutely.
anymore, right?
No.
So he's trying to build this narrative that they were going away from you at that point, right? So they was no longer an imminent threat, right? So your brother had no right to shoot at them, right? Because they was leaving y'all alone now, right? They done beat y'all ass now, right? They done beat y'all to the point of death. You bruised, you hurt, but at least they leaving, right? Right? So if somebody showed up to your crib, beat the absolute shit out of you, and all of a sudden they telling you, well, if they leaving, you got to let them leave for them to come back and do it again. Who in their right mind, family, is going to sit there and just let somebody drive off after giving them the business like that, and you got a gun in your hand? This is why I say, family, Travis didn't ask for this to happen. He did cheat, but this ain't his fault. But because he found himself in a situation where he had no other choice but to react in that moment, he's looking at a murder charge. Why? Because they was going away. So they just sit here and beat our ass. They did all this stuff to us, and your logic is, well, they was leaving at that point, right? They was leaving. They done beat you down the street. Now you should just let them leave. They done. They done messing now. Man, that's nuts, man. The one dude that try to tell lies on me, right? Call me out of my name. Call me gay. That lame dude. When I confronted him, guess what he said? I'm over here minding my business now. I ain't even thinking about you. I'm over here minding my business now. So in his mind, yo, as long as he ain't thinking about me no more, when I find out what he did, when I come back to him, I should leave it alone because he owns something else. What he did to me should be null and void because he ain't thinking about me no more. So, like, that's the logic. They leaving. They see him coming with the gun. They're leaving. But Travis in his mind is thinking, yo, you just beat my brother up. You just beat me up in front of my mama's house. You got guns. You leaving, threatening my life. I ain't letting you come back. I'm airing you out. The proper response in that moment, as Rice Rochella said, is to call the police. That's how it works. Once you remove all emotion from it, all anger, all fear of what those guys might come back and do, the proper response without emotion is to call the authorities who have a right to deal with this. But you in that situation is not going to do that. Most of us in that situation, let's be honest, we'll be sitting where Travis is, because most of us at this moment coming out and seeing your brother get stomped out, they just stomped you out, they saying they're going to come back. You're not going to let that happen. You're going to air that car out too. And you're probably going to be going to prison because you did not call the police. This is how they get us, yo. We don't know protocol. We don't know what we're supposed to be doing, but we're trying to fight our own battles. You don't even have the knowledge to fight your own battle. You fighting your own battle will be breaking the law. You will end up in jail trying to protect your own life, and they're not going to care. They're not going to look at this situation and say, man, y'all just trying to protect your life. We understand. They're going to say, well, look, according to our rule book of law, when trying to protect your life, did you do it the legal way? Because if you didn't, you're still going to jail. Like, they showed up at my house. You talking about, man, I shouldn't even be up here. The person who sent them should. The people who came should. Not me, though. Why am I up here? Why am I fighting for my life? Let's continue.
Oh, no, they're still making threats, shouting, saying y'all niggas dead, y'all gonna die.
As they're walking away
They did that through the whole fight.
as they're walking away from you, they're saying that you guys are still going to die.
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, before that even happened, now we're talking about out on the grass. Is it your testimony that Tyler Robinson pulled out a firearm and put it to your head?
Yes, sir.
Right,
Okay. He was threatening to kill you.
Yes, sir.
He didn't pull his trigger, did he?
No, sir.
Be very bad. He probably wouldn't be here if that were the case, right?
Thank God I am here.
Put it right to your temple, according to you, right?
No, I said
You guys hear that? he put a gun to your head, right? Yes, he did. He didn't pull the trigger, did he? So what are you talking? If my brother see this man holding a gun to my head, he looks up and sees the brother running with a gun. So he removes the gun and runs to the car. Yo, you just had a gun to my brother's head. You think I care that you didn't pull the trigger? If I see you reaching for that shit, it's a wrap. Talking about my brother. Yo, if you mention that shit, it's a wrap. Talking about my brother. You don't got to pull no trigger. You crazy. Well, he didn't pull the trigger, did he? Man, I swear to God. And he's still being respectful. He is still being respectful while he's getting disrespected.
So you put it right to my temple. I said he had a gun pointed at my head.
Okay. How far away was the gun from your head? How many inches?
Sir, I can't really give an approximate inches of feet because like at that point when you already been fiercely assaulted and then you see another man with a firearm pointed directly at your head, at that point I'm not even thinking. The only thing I could think about is that's my last night on earth. That's all I was thinking. I wasn't even trying to use algebra or mathematic equation to calculate, oh, Tyler got.
I want you guys to think about how many times one of us is dead at the hands of an officer and they say, I thought he had a gun. Now that's a trained professional who ended your life because they thought you had a gun, not because you was holding it to his damn head. And if you had it to his head, ain't nobody gonna say, well, did he pull the trigger? Because you certainly wouldn't be here if he didn't, right? So it wasn't as bad as you're saying it is, because while he had the gun to your head, he didn't pull the trigger. A cop can say he was reaching for a gun. I thought he had a gun. Something in his pocket was shaped like a gun. He was butt-ass naked, but I thought he had a gun in his asshole. They can say whatever. And they're trained. Here, this untrained man is asked this question. He didn't pull the trigger, though, did he? He had a gun out. See how they pull this shit, man?
Got maybe this couple of inches away from my head. No, that's not how I'm thinking at that particular moment.
Okay. Has there been any point in time where you were able to say how far away that gun was from your head?
I gave like I gave a guesstimation.
Give it again.
Maybe about 10 inches.
10 inches away from your head.
Yes, sir.
All right. So very close to your head, right?
Very close.
Threatening to kill you.
Yes, sir.
But he didn't pull the trigger, right?
No, sir.
In fact, from the moment they arrive.
Lynette, a good question. She says, what I want to know is, did they really have a gun? Yes, they did. Tyler has been reported to have a gun. They saw one in his pocket. They're all admitting that he did have one. And then there was another one because as the police followed them, they used police dogs and went along the same trail and found a blood trail of one of the guys that led to the woods where they discarded another gun. So they definitely had guns, okay? But they got away from the scene. So the ones who did have guns would have just said they didn't have guns, okay? But per the evidence, they were able to find at least two guns, family. All right, but let's continue.
To the moment they leave, never took a shot at you, did they?
No, sir.
Never fired a weapon at you, your mother, or your brother, did they?
They wanted to.
They never fired at you, your mother, or your brother, did they?
No, sir.
They had every chance to do it, didn't they?
Sir, I can't testify on Tyler's behalf. I'm going to testify on my behalf.
Well, from your perspective, you said that Tyler had the gun 10 inches away from your head, right?
That's correct.
But pull the trigger right then, you wouldn't be here, right?
Yes, sir.
Didn't do it, did he?
No, sir.
When you're fighting with Sebastian.
So if I'm the brother right here, what I would say is, instead of saying, I can't speak for them, I don't know if they had time, I don't know what they're saying, I think I would say something like, they appeared to have a plan, sir. So if they are there to execute a plan, they're probably looking to get us out from in front of the ring light so they can do this thing without being caught so they can get away. Okay, so if he has a gun to me and my brother's not around, being that they came there for the gun, for my brother, my assumption is I wasn't their target. So they are jumping me, though, because I'm in the way of them attacking my brother. And maybe I will be a casualty that goes along with it. And that could be part of what happens. But I'm believing their plan is to get my brother. So if my brother is too far down the road to be hit, what reason would they have to really shoot me and risk their freedom and all that kind of stuff for shooting me? If my brother's standing there with me, according to plan, then we could say they had time, but maybe we didn't give them a chance to act on their plan, being that we was never that close together off camera, right? That's what it sounds like to me. They would have offed them hands down, but they needed to get them off them in front of the camera. That's why they didn't pull out their guns on camera. So they already knew it was a ring light, a ring camera in the door. They already knew all of this. So the goal was to get out from in front of the door. But the big problem with this is they saw the fight happening in the yard. So they know those 4 guys showed up and jumped them, but they still trying to ask all these weird questions to try and make it seem like some of that is justified. They at this man's house. None of this would have happened if those 4 men did not drive to that man's house. This would have never happened. It would have never happened if she had called the police. Not him, but she had called the police and not her brothers. So it's like, it's so crazy. Let's focus in on him and why he didn't call the police. Let's focus in on her. Because if you put her through the same lens, yo, she gonna have to be over here fighting for her life. Even if Travis is up there too, she gonna be up there also because she the one made it happen. She orchestrated it, yo. She's the mind behind it all. But let's continue. I want you guys to watch how this judge, how this lawyer starts playing with words and trying to trip him up, and he's not even good at it. Watch this.
And Chris, out in the middle of the road, could have shot you then, right?
Yes, sir.
Could have shot your brother, right?
Yes, sir.
You're out on the lawn fighting and having. Did you hear your neighbor say it was a ruckus outside? Did you hear him testify to that, Mr. Estes?
As you know, sir.
All right. But during that fight, they could have shot you then, right?
Yes, sir.
Didn't do it, did they?
No, sir.
All right. So then I think your testimony was that Sebastian and Chris head back to the car, right?
Yes, sir.
Brother comes up behind you with his weapon, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And at the time, you said that you were about 10 feet away from that vehicle, right? When your brother starts firing at it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And we saw the demonstration that was given. Pretend this was the car, the black Cadillac, right?
That's correct.
I believe you said.
Microphone. Thank you.
This is where Travis was. So you would have been to his right, right?
Right. Like he'd be a little bit further than me. I'll be like to the right. He'll be like a couple inches like off to the side.
Okay. So as you sit here today, your testimony is that you were on Travis's right-hand side, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Your testimony here today is that you could see inside through the windshield, right?
Yes, sir.
Your testimony here today is that Sebastian pointed a gun at you, right?
Yes, sir.
Your testimony is also that Tyler Robinson pointed a gun at you, right?
Yes, sir.
Had it right at, like aiming right at you?
Yes, sir.
Never pulled the trigger, did they?
Sir, I can't testify on their behalf.
I'm asking you, you were there, right?
Yes, sir.
Did they ever pull the trigger? Either one of them?
No, sir.
And then your brother starts shooting at him, right?
Yes, sir.
After they pointed guns at you, he
Come
started
out by
shooting
the
at
car. Yeah, after they pointed guns, then when shots was immediately fired. Yeah.
Okay. When your brother starts firing at them, tell me the time that Tyler Robinson shot back at him.
Sir, he didn't have a chance to. My brother got quick reflexes and eye coordination. And like I said, jury, if it weren't for my brother, I wouldn't be a testifying. If my brother haven't shot those 39 shots, the times that I know now, Tyler and Sebastian, they would have I wouldn't be here talking to y'all right now, basically.
Your testimony was they were pointing guns directly at you through the windshield.
Yes, sir. They was pointing guns at me and my brother.
Right. So they were pointing guns at you first, according to you, right?
That's correct.
Your testimony is they had no time to shoot back at you. They were aiming first. Is that your testimony? They had no time.
I can't testify on their behalf, sir.
Say again? I didn't hear that.
Guys, so I want you guys to see what's happening here. He said they didn't have time to shoot back, not fire first. So they may have had time to shoot first, but they got to aim. They got to run to the car, point at him, aim. While they're aiming, Travis, can't you see how they don't have time to shoot back? They're ducked down after hearing all the shots, and all you hear is shots. So you ain't gonna jump up and shoot back. You just hear all the shots. You don't have a chance to. This is shooting back. Watch how he try to play with this, right? What you mean they didn't have time to shoot back? They had their guns pulled out first. Pulled out first and shooting back are two totally different things. You can pull your gun out first, hear a range of gun, hear all these gunshots going off, take cover, and then don't have time to shoot back. But he gonna play dumb and try to manipulate the witness. Watch this. Watch this. Just watch this.
I cannot testify if they had time to or not. I'm not Tyler or Sebastian.
Well, I think you just did. You just said they had no time to, because I think you said your brother has quick reflexes, right?
That's correct.
So your testimony here today is they had absolutely no time to shoot back at your brother, despite the fact that they were pointing guns directly at you, right?
If they had absolutely no time.
Is that your testimony, or is it your testimony they did have enough time to shoot back at him?
Basically, yeah, they did have no time, basically.
They didn't, though, did they?
See how he got him tricked? See how he tricked him? Y'all see that, right? He tricked him because he's playing around with words and shit. He's being very confusing. They didn't have time to shoot back because my brother had quick reflexes and he was just airing the car out. They wouldn't trust that they can lift their head up towards the window and shoot back when there's bullet holes going through the whole car. You would just take cover and keep covered up, right? So they didn't have time to shoot back. Yeah, they had time to shoot me. He had a gun to my head. Yeah, they had time to pull the trigger and shoot when they were aimed at me, or they was trying to aim at me. But my brother must have started shooting before they felt comfortable enough to pull their trigger. Once he pulled the trigger, though, they did not have time to return fire. Okay? I wish that Daryl would slow down and not let this guy confuse him. Once my brother started shooting, he left no time for them to return fire. However, if he had just sent a couple of shots or he had like some little handgun, they would have fired back. Do you see what I'm saying here? This goes on for a while. Just watch this.
Sir, I'm confused with your question, sir.
You
Can you rephrase the question another?
Whoa, Mr. Rudolph, that was a confusing question. They
Right.
didn't what?
I'll rephrase. Tyler Robinson did not fire that gun back at either you or your brother, did he?
No, sir.
Is it your testimony he had no time to do so?
No, sir.
Okay. So he did have time to fire back at either you or your brother who was shooting at him, right?
Yes, sir.
He didn't do it, did he?
No, sir.
Sebastian, is it your testimony here today that he had no time to shoot back at your brother as he was pointing the gun directly at him?
Can you repeat the question?
Is it your testimony here today that Sebastian had no time to shoot back at your brother when he was pointing the gun directly at him?
Yeah, if he had no time, no, sir.
See? And that's a problem because he tricked him into changing his answer right there. So now this implies that Sebastian had time to shoot back, but still did not shoot back. So now they can argue that while he may have made threats, he had no intention to kill you. Even when y'all were shooting, he didn't shoot back, even though it's your testimony that he had time to shoot back. But it's because you tricked him. Let's go, man. That's crazy.
Maybe it's a confusing question. So I'll put it this way. Did Sebastian have time to shoot back at your brother?
Yes, sir.
Okay. But he didn't, right?
That's correct.
All right. Now, once your brother starts shooting, you know that Tyler Robinson starts to run away, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. And you chased after him, right?
Sir, like I said, that was a dumb decision. I don't know what I was thinking.
I know.
Honestly, I don't know why I did it.
Okay. But my question is,
before he moves on to this next thing, right? Think about this. You pull your gun out to shoot somebody. You got handguns, okay? You're in a car. You hear an AR go off, right? You take cover. Now that you take cover, you don't know where those men are anymore. Your targets are. So you take cover. You're not just standing up and looking back outside and you know exactly where they are. You hearing all these rounds go off, right? So if you are gonna take another shot, you have to look up, find them, get aimed, and then shoot, right? Because you took cover. It means you're not looking at them anymore. So it makes perfect sense that after my brother started shooting, they had no time to return fire. My brother left them no time to return fire. That would make so much sense. But him coming off of that is just detrimental to this case. And then now he's about to play on this other part where when Tyler runs off, Daryl chases him, right? So the person that's jumping, you decides to run off, and he didn't let him run off. He chases him down, okay? And so that's what he's going to talk about next. Let's go.
is you did, in fact, run after him, right?
Yes, sir. I ran after him.
This was the man that came to your house at midnight, right?
That's correct.
This was the man that basically, since you started interacting with him, was either threatening you or your brother, right?
That's correct, sir.
This is the man that when you were in the grass, he put a gun, he pulled it out, right, and threatened you with it.
That's correct, sir.
And then, in fact, I think you said that during the middle part, when you're in between the house and the car, he threatened you again with a gun, right?
Yes, sir.
That's the man you chose to run after once the car was leaving, right?
Yes, sir.
You didn't have a gun at that point in time, right?
No, sir.
That doesn't make sense. You know that, right?
I know it don't. Like, sir, I don't know why I did. Everything happened so, sir, you gotta understand, jury, things happen like this. All this took place within a matter of seconds. Like everything happened so fast. I was traumatized from being brutally beat up. Maybe I wasn't thinking because my head was being pounded so much. I don't know. I just wasn't thinking. Just traumatized and just happened so fast. I didn't have time to process like what's going on.
So guys, you got to think about this instinctually, okay? Somebody beating the crap out of you or y'all in a really bad fight and he starts to run, the person who was assaulting you starts to run. Why wouldn't you chase them? Why wouldn't your immediate response be to chase them back? It's not like you scared of them. Y'all are here fighting. They started with you. Y'all are here fighting. So now you're trying to turn and run? Dude, that's like the snake trying to bite the mongoose and then missing and the mongoose letting the snake get away. Yo, I can't let you get away to survive another day to come back and try to make me food again. That makes no sense. You just tried to kill me. Now you're trying to run away. I'm not letting you escape. If I let you escape, I'll be in fear for my life. I don't know where you're going. If you're coming back, I don't know none of that. You might run and get a safe distance just to turn around and shoot at me. I'm not letting you get far away from me so you can pull that gun out and point it at me again. I'm going to try to grab you, hold your arms down, and disarm you. Because I think you're running. You could be running away to try and get establish your foot and just to turn around and air me out. Are you crazy? You just had a gun on me. But he said, I don't know what I was thinking. I think you was thinking with your instinct. You was reacting. You can't think tactfully while in a fight, yo. Like you're gonna be responding. You just fighting. But he even wants to damn comb through that. I wish the girl yesterday. I wish the girl yesterday would have had a better cross-examiner than she did. I wish she was every bit as disrespectful as this guy was with him. I wish she would have had to go through this, because I bet he wouldn't have let her get all crazy. He gonna be the one that's getting crazy. Let's continue.
In any event, you end up seeing that Tyler Robinson disappears into the neighborhood, right?
That's correct.
And according to you, you knew he had a firearm, right?
Yes, sir.
Why don't you call the police to say, hey, there's this guy with a gun on the loose in our neighborhood?
Tell me at the moment when I'm by the car.
When you get back to the house.
Sir, we heard sirens. We heard helicopters. We even heard a neighbor that came outside that said, call the cops. And before we heard those, you got to remember, they yelling, we on Demon Town, y'all niggas gonna die really loud. And there's a lot of commotion going on during the fight. So it was common sense thinking that neighbors heard it. They woke our neighbors up. So it's like,
how would the police know where Tyler Robinson ran if you didn't tell them? Who else saw that?
sir, I can't testify on the police half. I can only testify on my behalf.
Right. So you said the reason you didn't call 911 is because you just heard sirens and figured the cops were coming, right?
That's correct.
How would they have learned about the gunman that just ran into somebody's yard if you don't tell them that?
Sir, I can't testify on their behalf.
No, I'm asking you, sir. All right, I'll phrase it this way.
So what he's trying to do now is he's trying to say, when you saw this guy running through other people's yards, why didn't you call the police and say he's a threat to the people's yards he's running through? Why would I think he's a threat? He came here to shoot me. He didn't knock on every door on the street till he got to me looking for somebody to be home. This ain't the purge, man. They know who their targets are. I'm not about to call the neighbors whose yard he's running through and say, you got a dangerous man in your yard. That's the last thing on his mind. You think that he's running through these people's yards to make a getaway. You're not thinking that the people whose yards he's in is in danger. Like, this is ridiculous, man. He's focusing on the little dumbest nuanced shit that don't mean nothing. You couldn't call the police and protect the neighbors from him running through their yards? I mean, for real? Well, could the neighbors? They saw him running too. They was outside saying how bad the situation was. What are you talking about? I didn't call him for me. Well, I'm gonna call him for the neighbors. He ain't threatening the neighbors. I'm with the brother. If I hear police sirens, I'm not gonna go in the house and get scared like that, like exactly how he handled it. But if I hear the police sirens, I wouldn't call the cops either. I'm thinking that the police are coming to the home. After what I've learned through this case, I'm going to have to call the cops if something like that ever happened. But if I'm unaware of all this, I'm going to do exactly what the brother did. I'm going to think the police are coming because of what they've heard, because other people called. I'm going to be in fear for my freedom. But I'm going to be prepared to tell the police what happened when they arrive. But I don't think I got to call them and tell them, though. But we all learning from this case, family. You got to call them. You got to call them. And the mother is here, so she knows this is happening too, and she didn't call either. So they didn't call at all. Okay, well, let's go.
You didn't tell the police that Tyler Robinson ran off into someone else's yard with a gun, ever, did you?
No, sir.
You didn't call 911 to tell them, hey, there's a man on the loose in our neighborhood.
Great question, Slady, too. I wish I had a Don DeMarco. Who schooled this guy before his trial? Why didn't his lawyers prepare him better? I would venture to say that there was no coaching on behalf of this witness at all. I believe that the woman yesterday was coached, but I believe they sent him in here 38 just empty-handed so they could trip him up, because obviously he's here on behalf of his brother. So you ain't about to coach him. No, they're not going to coach him. And if they are coaching him, it's probably Travis's lawyer, who's horrible. She probably coached him. And she didn't coach him well. But let's continue.
And he just threatened us with guns. You never did that either, right?
Never.
You never called the police to say, hey, there's this black Cadillac that just sped off and I don't know where it went, and they just tried to kill us. You never called the police to tell them that, did you?
No, sir. I was traumatized.
Okay. Well, in terms of your neighborhood, that Cadillac kind of went around a curve, that Sable curve, right?
Yes, sir.
Went out of sight.
Yes, sir.
It's possible, given how your neighborhood's set up, that a person could just go around that curve and end up coming right past your house again, right? You can just do a big circle and come right back around, right?
Yes, sir.
At that point in time, you don't know whether anybody's been shot inside that car, right?
That's correct.
You don't know if anybody's been killed inside that car.
That's correct.
You don't know what they're thinking inside of that car, right?
I mean, I knew it was.
See, look, what he's saying right now could benefit Travis if his brother here had been coached a bit. The moment he says, you don't know if that man's going to circle around, you don't know if anybody's in the car is actually hit, they could circle around, do another loop, and shoot again, right? You don't know. Absolutely, you don't know, which is why my brother acted in the way that he did. He was acting to defend us regardless of if the men were driving away, because he did not know if they were coming right back around. He was not looking to murder anyone. He was looking to protect us from being harmed. Those men were leaving saying, you're going to die. You're going to die tonight. So he had every reason to think that they were going to circle around and shoot up the house and anybody else standing outside. So Travis was acting on what he believed those perpetrators would be doing. See how that makes sense? I don't think Daryl here is prepared at all for this.
Thinking, to be honest.
Okay.
They was thinking the words that they were saying went through the whole fight that we gonna die.
Exactly. So at that time, you're thinking they might still want to kill me, right?
Yes, sir.
They might come right back around and try to do it again, right? Because I don't know where they're going.
At that point, I thought the threat was over.
Why?
After my brother got him away, I thought everything was over.
How did you know that they weren't going to come back?
Sir, you want an explanation?
Please. Why did you think they weren't just going to come right back and start shooting you up with those guns?
I wouldn't come back after no 39 shots. I mean, that sounds stupid if they did.
Right. Your brother made sure
honest
that they
with you.
weren't going to come back, right?
Yes, sir. He got the threat away.
Okay. So you just walk back to your house, right?
Yes, sir.
You don't run back to your house, do you?
So wait, can you repeat the question?
After all this happens, the car drives away, Tyler runs away. You just walk right back to your house, right?
I walked back. I can't remember what I did. I can't remember if I ran or walked.
Okay. If it's on video, you don't doubt that the video is what the video is, right?
I mean, yes, sir.
All right.
No doubt.
So if that video shows you just walking back to your house, you have no reason to doubt that, right?
No reason at all. If that's what I did, and that's what the videos say, and that's what I did, sir.
So you just decided to walk back to your house after all this happened? You weren't afraid that maybe Tyler's just waiting in a bush, ready to shoot you?
Sir, I was afraid the whole time. My heart was beating, sir. Like, you know, and when we went in the house, we was, sir, look, Me and my brother sitting here crying like we got guns pointing at us.
I wish he would say, sir, I don't believe my house is a safe place. And in fact, that the home is the most fearful place. I'd be afraid to go back up in that home and they come shoot my house up with my mama in it. So the goal is to stay outside, not to run back in the house like I'm taking cover in my house that they can just shoot up. Are you crazy? Well, I'm gonna take off running to my house like I think I'm safe in the house. He got a gun, and I'm not safe. I'm safe as long as my brother out here with that AR, so I'm gonna stay around him. But let's continue.
So did you run back to your house to get to safety?
Sir, we went back to our house. We were afraid, sir. Like, I don't get what you.
My question is, sir, did you run back to the safety?
No, sir. Sir, I can't remember if I ran or not. You got to show me the video.
All right.
Why focus on him running?
Now, when you get back in the house, you said you talk with Travis.
We all intelligent on here, right? What does it matter if he ran or walked? What is this lawyer doing here? This one eludes me. If he says I ran, what does that mean? If he says I walked, does that mean somehow he was in the wrong here? And why didn't you call the police when they was fighting at the house? Why didn't you call the police when they showed up at the door? Why did you try to chase down such and such? Why didn't you run to the house? Why didn't I run to the dude? You just trying, and you're trying too hard. I don't even know what you're trying to get out of me right here. I walked. I don't know. Why didn't you run? What are you trying to do here? What does it mean if I ran or didn't run? I'll wait for the comments, but we'll go ahead and get into it. But just please comment, guys. What's the difference in running or walking here? Okay, I'll pay attention. I'll pause once I get your answers.
Travis, about what had just happened, right?
Yes, sir.
Talk to your mom about what had just happened, right?
Yes, sir.
Everybody was very upset, right?
Yes, sir.
Now, at that time, when police officers are outside, you do not voluntarily come out and say anything to them, do you?
No, sir.
You'd agree with me that it would have been very easy to come out of the house and say at least one sentence.
Okay, Renata. Okay, potentially. Okay, she says, why are they trying to? She said what? She says they're trying to show that he wasn't in fear of his life. That's crazy, right? Like him walking or running would show if he was in fear of his life, right? It's ridiculous. Yeah, Eric Weston. Yeah, why didn't you skip? Why didn't you hopscotch on the way home? Why didn't you do that dance like this and just hop sideways to the house? Why didn't you do the electric slide to the house? Like, come on, man. Yeah, who mans is this, right? All right, let's go.
Sentence. That sentence being, they had guns. You agree that would have been very easy, right?
Can you repeat the question?
You could have came outside that house to any one of those law enforcement officers that were outside, and all you would have had to say, or one of the things you at least could have said, was they had guns.
Sir, so you want an explanation?
Could you have done that?
Sir, why would I talk to them when they had made my brother walk out with his hands up and did all that? Like,
when did that happen, sir? When did your brother get arrested? Was it right away?
Sir, yes, sir.
So literally,
Before I came out, he did.
Well, the cops.
So look, y'all. They show up at the police and they show up at their house with intercoms. Okay, come outside with your hands up. These are officers making an arrest. They're not detectives here to take a statement. They're here to make an arrest. So let's say that Daryl here runs outside and said, they had guns. Ain't he still getting arrested? They're not here to take statements, right? So it would have made no difference. Sure, I could have run outside and said they had guns, but what would that change, sir? Would we not have still been arrested? Would we not have still had our statements taken when we got down to the precinct? Like, wouldn't there still be an investigation conducted where we could then tell them what happened? You said come out with your hands up. Why would I think that you want to know what I'm saying? What happened? That's not what you're here for. You're here to make an arrest, not find out what happened. Come out with your hands up. Yo, I'm coming out with my hands up. I'll explain everything once I get a lawyer, but I ain't got to tell you shit right now. You ain't about to hold nothing against me. Anything you say will be held against you in the court of law. We wait till you get a lawyer. You keep your mouth shut. You're not about to penalize me for not talking because I have a right to my silence. I have a right to remain silent. The question is, did I eventually tell him that we had a gun when I was asked? right? When I was being asked about it in the statement, did I say they had guns? Yeah. So why are you trying to go back to the day I got arrested? My brother got arrested. Yo, that's crazy, man. Let's continue. If they had guns, you would have told them they had guns. They didn't got there, right? That means they didn't have guns. I just told you they had a gun to my head. Y'all done found guns. What are you doing here, sir? Y'all done found guns. You know they had guns. What are you doing here, sir? He's a dead man walking. Yeah, please shoot his shit up. You remember all of that, right? You do remember all that, right? So what you doing, man? What you talking about? I'm going to ignore all the evidence so I can harp on you about this thing. Yo, you got to be kidding me. Let's continue.
Cops get there and they just put him in cuffs. There wasn't any cops just waiting outside during that point in time?
Sir, as far as I remember, sir, they basically detained him right then. So
it's your
they treated us like they treated me, my brother, as well as my mother, like we was criminals or something. So
how long afterwards did your brother get, or were you asked to come outside after the shooting happened? Do you remember?
Can you repeat the question?
How long after this shooting occurred did it take to the point where your brother was asked and you were asked and your mother were asked to come outside on that loudspeaker?
Can you repeat the question one more time?
Yes, sir. From the moment the shooting happened, okay, to the point where your brother is being detained by the officers and put in handcuffs.
Correct.
How long did that take?
I can't remember the exact amount of minutes, sir.
Okay, maybe longer than a half hour at least, right? Before that actually happened?
I can't remember the exact amount of time, sir. I was too shooken up by the whole situation.
Okay. But in any event, before that happens, you never come outside. Before your brother gets arrested, according to you, you never came outside and told anybody a single sentence as simple as they had guns, did you?
You're saying before my brother came outside?
Yep.
Sir, I didn't come out before my brother, so I didn't have time to like what are you?
Right. You never came outside to try to flag down a police officer, right?
No, sir.
Never tried to speak to a police officer, right?
No, sir.
Didn't try to motion for a police officer to come to your front door so you could talk to him there, right?
No, sir.
And you didn't know any of these police officers, right?
That's correct.
They responded to your location, right?
Yes, sir.
Where you are saying you were the victim along with your brother, right?
Yes, sir.
And never once do you tell those police officers that are responding that these men had guns, did you?
No, sir.
All right.
What does that imply? What does
In
that
retrospect, do you think you should have went outside and told them that?
mean? What would that do?
Sir,
What would it mean?
if I had a lawyer present, I would.
Let's talk about that. Isn't it true that one of the reasons you said that you did not want to go outside and talk to police is because you didn't want to incriminate yourself without a lawyer?
I knew you were going to say it, sir. You got to understand, sir. I said that word and
Judge, non-responsive, objection.
Just, if you remember the question, please just answer it, Mr. Rudolph.
yes, sir. I remember I said that.
That's how they should have been doing old girl yesterday, right? Just answer the question. But they didn't.
So during your testimony, now we're talking about when we're down by the car
Now,
almost.
this is the brother saying, okay, I didn't want to incriminate myself without a lawyer. And he wants to focus in on something. Didn't you say that? Okay. Didn't she say that she looked up all this stuff because she needed to figure out if she needed to turn herself in? Didn't she say that? And that's relevant. That's real relevant because she's the one who told her brothers to go over there. So that's real relevant because she's the one who said, please shoot his shit up. That's real relevant. That she would be worried about if she would get in trouble. But it don't really make a whole lot of sense. It just seems like a fear that he has, an unreasonable fear that he could implicate himself because he ain't did shit. So let's just say he did have this fear. I don't want to say anything to get myself in trouble without a cop. Let's say he thought that. What has he done that would get him in trouble, family? Did he call them boys over there? Did he say, please shoot his shit up? What did he do? He just got his ass whooped, if you ask me. What did he do, family? What did he do? Why does it matter if he had a fear of speaking on it and it would be held against him? Why does it matter? Why is it relevant? It's certainly relevant that she looked all this shit up about a murder and also said that she did it so she could see if she had to turn herself in. That's crazy, man.
When those shots start to be fired. All right. Just want to be clear.
Yeah, playing.
Said you saw two firearms pointed at you and your brother, right?
That's correct.
One of those was Sebastian pointing through the windshield, right?
Yes, sir.
Tyler, how was he pointing the gun at you?
He was pointing like straight, like kind of demonstrate.
Yeah.
Like directly at me like that.
Right. So you were standing where what we talked about, right? And he was pointing it at you.
Exactly.
Tyler doing the same thing?
Yes, sir.
All right. And at that point, you said that you were to your brother's right side, right?
Yes, sir.
Judge, may I reference? It's going to be stage 49, Judge, already in evidence.
All right. You may assist, yes. You may. Mm-hmm.
All right. So on this side, you see your brother shooting the gun, right?
Not right now.
Let me play it. Just tell me as it's playing, you can see your brother shooting that gun.
Yeah, I see it now. Yes, sir.
All right. Now, what I'd like you to do, I'm going to pull it back. I want you to watch right in this section right here. All right. Watch right here.
I wish we could see that.
Do you not see a person moving right here?
No, sir. You got to play it one more time. I can't really.
See that person moving right to the right coming on screen? Right here. Who is that? Oh, well, let's do a process of elimination. It's not your mother, right?
No, sir.
It's not your brother, right? Because he's shooting, right?
Correct.
Okay. It's not any one of the four boys because they're either in the car or right near the car, right?
You mean the four grown men?
Four grown men. They're either in the car or near the car, right?
Sir, I have no clue.
Okay. So you don't, so you're telling this jury that you don't know whether those four men that came over and assaulted you at this point in the video are either in the car or near the car. Is that your testimony, sir?
Sir, got to repeat your question again.
At this point in time, as the car is leaving, is it your testimony that those four men that came over and attacked you and your brother, that they're not either in the car or near the car?
They was in the car trying to shoot at us.
Okay.
So
this person moving over here can't be any of them, right?
sir, I don't know who that is.
It's you, isn't it?
No, sir.
Okay, let's keep watching. You saw Tyler Robinson run away, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. This person moving now is at this position. Are you still saying that's not you, Mr. Rudolph?
Sir, it don't make, sir, if I ran out to Tyler, how could it be me? It don't make sense.
Is this you right here, sir?
No, sir.
Okay. This way now. Did you see the individual run this way?
No, sir. You could play it back one more time.
Yes, sir. Can you see somebody running there?
Play it back one more time, cause I ain't seen anybody.
It must be difficult to see, y'all. It's night. I
That's
don't
Yeah. I saw like a little shadow.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's got to be Tyler Robinson, right? That's exactly where he started running, right?
I assume that's him. I can't really testify from this video. It's not like a clear.
Okay,
video.
do it from your memory. Did Tyler Robinson run in this direction after the shooting occurred?
Yeah, I remember he ran off to the right somewhere.
So wouldn't that be Tyler Robinson? Isn't that the direction he ran?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So another person running now in the same direction. I can play it back if you need to.
You play it back.
He already said he ran after him, though. Ran behind him.
See it right there?
Yeah, I see it.
That's you, right? Running after Tyler. Right?
Yeah, I know it was dumb. I don't know why I did it.
Okay. And there was nobody else outside that you remember, right? Other than the people we talked about.
To my brother Cotton, I guess.
So isn't it true that this is you that comes on screen? I think it's at 12, 11, 18 right here. That has to be you, right?
Sir, I don't know who on that side. All I know is I was on the right side of the car, so I don't know how I could get that way and then go. It don't make sense.
Right. It doesn't.
So I don't know who that could be.
Because this person right here certainly isn't to your brother's right side, right? He's on the left side, right?
Can you repeat the question?
This person right here would have been on your brother's left-hand side, right? Not his right-hand side.
I can't, sir. I was so traumatized. I can't think of.
Okay. You can take your seat, sir.
Yeah.
Watch your step going back up.
He been confusing as hell, man.
Yes, sir.
Tell us one time during any of those text messages you had with Dominique that you wrote the word gun.
Did I wrote the word gun?
Mhm.
I don't think not one time.
Okay. So you don't think or you know that you never wrote the word gun when you're talking about what had just happened, right?
That's correct. I know I ain't mentioned that.
Okay. The only things that you said was, why didn't you tell them the truth? Them N-word dead ass wrong for pulling up at my mama crib trying to jump my little brother. You remember texting that, right?
Yes, sir.
Nowhere in there do you mention that you had a gun 10 inches away from your head, right?
No, sir.
Sustained.
I'm referring to his text messages at this point.
All right. Overruled.
So at no point did you say that in the text message, right?
That's correct.
Okay. You said, I don't know who.
Now, here's why this is weird. They've already found guns. So it's like you're saying that it's like, is he trying to say because he didn't say the word gun when texting back and forth with Dominique that there wasn't guns? When there was guns, you've already seen the guns. They've even admitted to having a gun. So it's like, so what? He didn't say that to Dominique. He said, why would you send them dudes over my house? He don't have to say, and one of them put a gun to my head. He don't have to say gun. They still had guns. It's so, this man focuses on the most ridiculous stuff as if it means something. You already see they had guns. Let's continue.
Them N-words is and what the fuck you and Travis got going on, but I don't like how you got them N-words to disrespect my mama's crib. You texted that, right?
Yes, sir.
Nowhere in there do you say that you or your brother's life was threatened with any type of firearm, right?
Here's what he is saying, that she sent 4 assailants to his house to attack, disrespect his mama's house. That's what he's saying. That is what he is saying. Do they have to be armed, sir? Do they have to be armed? So is it okay for me and 3 other people to show up at y'all's house and jump y'all because we ain't got no gun? Is that cool? When those attacks could kill you? Like us showing up to your house and jumping you could end your life. Why does it matter if we didn't have a gun? What are you saying?
That's correct.
Next text message, you said, Dominique, on some real N-word shit, forget what the fuck you and Travis got going on. I understand, but them N-words, I swear on my life, they disrespected my mama crib. Fuck this shit. That text message, never mention a gun, do you?
No, sir.
Okay. Next text message, Nah, fuck that shit, bruh. I saw you as a sister. Them N-words came to my mama crib where I lay my head trying to jump my little brother in front of my mama. Fuck that shit. Do you remember sending that?
Yes, sir.
That text message doesn't talk about any threats or guns or nothing, does it?
Yes, sir.
That text also doesn't talk about how I also got jumped. Notice I said they tried to jump my brother in front of my mama. Notice he also didn't say, and I got jumped too. Should we retract that, even though you see him on camera jumping him? Like if you don't put this in the text, then it didn't happen. So guys, next time you sent your brothers to my house with guns, one of them put a gun, just say the whole thing in a text message. That makes it good. You understand? Let's continue.
Next text message you send to Dominique. Now, this text message that we're going to talk about, this is after, according to you, Dominique physically assaulted your brother, right?
Right.
This is after she broke his PlayStation.
Yes, sir.
After he broke the charger, according to you, right?
Yes, sir.
Now, you guys have a house phone at your residence, right?
That's correct.
Could have used that phone to call the police, right?
Yes, sir.
Didn't do it, did you?
No, sir.
All right. So even after all that stuff that you say Dominique did, your next text message at 12:59 in the morning is, I would have done the same for my sister, but the way that situation was handled was wrong as fuck, and know it. Them N-words about my mama, and to it, it's a wrap. That's what you said, right?
Yes, sir.
So you even say after all of this happened that you would have done what they did, just in a different fashion, right?
Same text, it says, like you said, I would have felt.
All right, guys. Is that convicting that he would have done the same thing, but in a different fashion? I would have been infuriated too. If my sister would have told me that her boyfriend hit her, I would have been angry too. I would have felt the same way as potentially they did, but I wouldn't have went about it that way. What's wrong with that? You can understand why any brother would be mad if the sister went back and said, somebody hit me. That ain't something that he could understand if he was there and saw how his brother was talking to her, how he could understand why she was mad. But notice he still has a big ass problem with what she did, proving that he don't like how they went about it. But let's continue.
So the same of the false allegations that Dominique made, but I would not have handled it the way that they handled it.
Your later text message says, and I just say, Dominique, I understand why your brothers pulled up, because they sister.
Yeah,
You texted that, right?
Yes, sir.
So you understand why they pulled up to the house at 12 at midnight, right?
Black people, listen, y'all. Do you hear him reading this text back to him? I know we understand what each other's saying, and we got this little lingo, but the text message that you sending to your people, man, could be reviewed by police and read back to your ass, and they're gonna be reading it with the same ebonics you typed it with potentially. That gotta hurt. You, they sister. You're their sister. I can understand how they feel because you, they sister. They got. I'd have been mad too. Just say sister, man. Just say you, they sister. This asshole is reading this shit back and putting the ebonics in it. It's just making us look bad. I say us. I feel like it's making me look bad just for reviewing the shit. Tighten up, y'all. Your text messages could be being reviewed, okay, by a lawyer or something, okay? You never know. So just type the shit the way it's supposed to be typed. It'll help you too. It'll help you. It's good to have proper English and shit. It helps, okay? I can understand because you, they sister. I'd have been mad too. Who the hell? Is this Harpo? This Harpo from Color Purple? I love Harpo. God knows I do. But I'll kill him dead before I let him beat me. Yo, goodness gracious, yo. Him reading that shit back is pissing me off. I'd have been like, yo, you ain't got to read that shit like that. I'm reading it like it said. Well, don't. Read that shit like you would say it, okay? We're in a professional atmosphere. Don't be trying to treat me like I type like that. right, let's get back to it.
That don't mean I agree with what they did. Like the way they did the situation, I don't agree with it at all.
Okay. But you understand why they did it, right?
I understand why Keyshawn wanted to do it. He just handled it the wrong way.
Right. But according to you, the way he handled it is two of those people ended up pulling out guns and threatening you guys.
Exactly. The other guys that won Dominique real brother.
Okay. Last text message you send to Dominique is, get the fuck off my phone. You sent them N-words over here to jump me at my house when my mother was here, and I was trying to diffuse this situation. You remember saying that?
Yes, sir.
Whatever y'all got going on, don't bring that shit to my house. I didn't ever do a fuck thing to you, Dominique, or anybody. I'll be in my room minding my business. You remember saying that?
Yes, sir.
Nowhere.
Oh, okay.
Jury takes a look at this exhibit. Not once.
So he said, I'll be in my room minding my business. He said that? That's good. I'm glad he didn't say, I'll be in my room minding my business. You feel me? You feel me, bruh? You feel me, cuz? Let's go.
You text back and forth with Dominique, right?
That's correct.
You are giving details about what had happened at the house, aren't you?
Not all of them.
Yeah, but you're giving some, right?
Some of it.
Right?
That's correct.
The detail you left out in all of these text messages, never once do you say to Dominique that you got threatened with a gun, did you?
Yeah, because he got
That's
jumped.
correct.
Never once did you say Travis got threatened with a gun, did you?
That's correct.
You had every opportunity to text Dominique and tell her what, according to you, really happened, right?
See,
Correct.
listen,
Just like the police, right?
listen, guys, black people. Yeah, this is exclusive to black people. I know somebody white don't want this to be about them too, but no, it ain't. We do this, okay? Okay. Not only do we have to stop texting like that, we got to stop saying somebody tried to do something when they clearly did it. That's a black people thing, okay? Somebody can haul off and slap you right upside your head, and you'll say he tried to slap me, right? No, he did that shit. I saw it. He did it for real. They tried to beat me up or what? They tried to jump me, you know what I'm saying? They tried? Dude, you was in a coma for a week. They succeeded. They tried to jump my brother in front of mama. They could focus in on that and be like, you said they tried to jump him, like they wasn't successful. You said tried, sir. Didn't sound like they were too successful. Why you said they tried to jump you? They tried. We always say that. We think it make us look bad if somebody give us that business or we lose. Yeah, he was trying to talk shit. He gonna try to turn around and say something smart. Did he try to turn around and say something smart, or did he say some smart shit to you? Did he? Let's be honest. He tried to. She tried it. No, they did it. They did it. Okay, you messing yourself up. You messing yourself up in a court of law when you say he tried it. Be vulnerable. It's okay. You can be vulnerable. You can say somebody did it. You can say he punched me, he hit me, they jumped me. You can say that without putting tried in front of it to reduce what happened to you with your ego. Just say the motherfucker fucked me up. Don't say they tried to get some good looks in. They tried it. They Black people, stop lying. When they were successful, don't say they tried. Say they did that shit, okay? Listen, real quick story, okay? Eric said, that's snitching. Real quick story, man. All right, so I had this homeboy, okay? Now, I would say I was a Christian at the time, okay? I remember taking him to a Billy Graham thing or whatnot shortly after he had gotten saved. And Billy Graham asked him, did he love Jesus? And my homeboy said, hell yeah. And I mean, we was in a Charlotte Coliseum. They done rented out the Charlotte Hornets Coliseum. Billy Graham in there making people walk, everything. He got the fire. He there with the whole nine. Okay, he got all the fireworks. They ain't really making them walk. It's set up, but they make it look real, right? So we in there, everybody excited. At the time, I thought that stuff was real. Okay, Billy Graham, he walking through the crowd. You love Jesus? Yes, I love Jesus. I love the Lord. They called my homeboy out. Now he just got saved. Okay, he ain't really had no long walk. He was a thug too. So they asked him, do you love Jesus? That man said, hell yeah, I love Jesus. Everybody in there was like, are you going to hell? Anyway, that guy, okay? I told that story to tell it, but I'm telling it for a reason. That same guy, okay? He later on ended up getting in a huge fight with one guy, but it was a huge fight because dude gave him the business. Okay. Now I wasn't there. I heard about it. Okay. But my homeboy that was there, he didn't step in and help. It was a fair fight. He let them go at it. Okay. And he got beat up. Right now, people don't admit they got beat up. They say he tried. Right. They say he tried to. But we need to be more like my friend here. Okay. Because what happened is my friend jumped up and got mad at my other friend for not helping him. And he punched him in the arm like, man, you could have helped me. My friend turned around and gave him part two. Okay. Beat him up too. Okay. He hit him once and knocked him down. And he was going to go ahead and continue to get him. But my other friend said, please, man, chill. I'm already beat up. Now listen, that is hilarious to me. That he admitted to being in the current state of beat up, because I've never heard black people come all the way clean when somebody get the best of them. We don't ever come all the way clean. They tried to do that shit. They didn't do it for real though. They tried. We don't ever come all the way clean. But my homeboy came all the way clean. He said, man, I'm already beat up. I'm like, at what punch, at what kick do you know you beat up? Like at what pat. Okay, pat. Okay, I'm beat up now. I'm officially beat up. That was hilarious to me. That's like a gauge on this shit. Okay, if one hit too many, that's beat up. We're gonna draw the line right here. No more guessing. No more leaving it up in the air. This is officially beat up. Okay, this is it. No more leaving it in the air and discussing who you think won. I thought he was getting the best of him, but he kind of came back at the end. If somebody had not broke it up, then he probably could have. We ain't doing no speculation. You got beat up. Okay? So if you got beat up, admit it. Stop saying they tried. Okay? Don't. I was about to come back. No, you don't get to say that. You got beat up. Just leave it with that. It don't look good in court. That's what I'm saying. So just be honest. Hold that L with all your pride, okay? For it may be brought up against you in a court of law. And that person who completely whooped your ass might get off because you said they just tried to. Because you black. You better admit it. Let's go.
That's correct.
And you never did it, did you?
No, sir.
Just for clarification, in terms of that video that we saw, is it your testimony to this jury that you have no idea who that person is that comes into Travis's right, or excuse me, Travis's left when he's shooting that gun, right?
That's correct.
Neighbor outside that you didn't see?
That's correct.
Sustain.
Just one moment, Your Honor.
All right.
What you got? You're gonna say one moment. You better have a good one. What you got for us? What's the question?
Sir, thank you very much. I have no further questions.
Oh, okay.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, unless you need a longer break, take a stand up and stretch 90-second break before redirect.
Okay, they're gonna do a redirect, family. Let me get to that. They're gonna take a little 90-second break, so we ain't gonna wait to 3 minutes. Gonna go ahead and get to this redirect.
Right?
Exactly.
You can close that. Thank
Y- yes, sir.
you. Okay. All right. Let me ask you this. You were asked about page 117 of your statement on March 8th of 2022. Remember those questions?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And I guess you read something that, and the prosecutor read, I can't remember that, it was just a little argument, right?
Yes, sir.
May I approach the witness?
Yes, you may.
I'll put this in the proper context on page 116, lines 19 to 25. Turn to line 19 to 25 on that.
19 through
On
25.
that page. What was the rest of the statement you made about this argument or little argument? What else did you say about it?
Basically, I said was she was basically beating up on Travis.
All right, so it was more than just a little argument, right?
Exactly.
You can close that. Thank you. And I think you're asked a question about calling the police on Valentine's Day incident. Explain to us why you didn't call the police on Dominique.
I didn't want to get Dominique in trouble. I mean, I saw her as a little sister, and I just didn't want her to get in trouble.
Your brother didn't want her to get arrested either.
Guys, I want you to think about something. How often does that happen on our behalf? We don't want to get them in trouble. They done did something to us. They done came at us with a weapon, but we still don't want to get them in trouble. We don't. So we don't call the police, meaning we're not protecting ourselves. I don't care if you don't want to get her in trouble. You need to protect yourself. If getting her in trouble is the result of that, then that's what happened. You don't have to call the police because your agenda is to get her in trouble. It is to protect yourself. That's it. Somebody make a death threat to me. I don't care about getting them in trouble, but I need to let the police know I got a death threat made to me so I can press a restraining order on this person. So if they come in my space and I do something to them, I have already told the police. Or if something happens to me, they know that I got a death threat. I'm protecting myself. But he didn't call the police on her after everything she did because he saw her as a little sister. So he didn't equate everything that she did and think that was worthy of the police. He instead weighed that against his familiarity with her, how he saw her with his own eyes. And that's what protected her. That's what sacrificed his brother, because he didn't do the right thing here, which was to call the police. Right, get it on the record. You're not her protector. Her brother is. So you said, she my little brother, so I'm a protector too. So here's what's going to happen. Your brother is getting assaulted and his life is on the line. And what is happening is she has been protected by her own brother and you. You protecting her too. Damn. Yo, I'm calling the cops on your ass, on your crazy ass. I'm calling the cops on you. What you mean? Care nothing about that. Let's go.
He just didn't want to get her in trouble, and him too.
You're asked about more threats from other people, not Dominique, that you heard from other people that she was sending her brothers over to kill your brother, right?
Yes, sir.
Where'd you hear that from?
My sister.
Okay. When did you hear that?
I heard that when she called Travis' phone. Well, called the house phone, actually.
And was that on speakerphone?
Yes, sir.
So you knew from your sister that there was more threats about death threats to your brother.
That's correct.
And who else did you hear it from?
My mother.
And did Dominique make death threats to your brother through your mom?
Yes, sir.
Still didn't take it seriously even after all that.
Yeah. To this day, I'm like, I really can't believe we even sitting here right now. To this day, it's like a nightmare, to be honest with you. Yeah.
All those times they called the house, making all those threats, he yet still did not call the police. Now, as stupid as that is, family, as stupid as that is, knowing what I know now, I did the same type of crap when I was young. I'm getting into it with these boys. Every time I see them, we got to fight. So I know if I see them when I'm by myself, I'm getting jumped, because every time I see them, I'm with my friends, and it's always a big group fight. Every time we see this crew, they hated us. They knew who we were. We went to a different school. They didn't like us, whatever. We just had bad blood. And I knew everywhere that I went, I had to look over my shoulder, because if those dudes saw me, it was a wrap. And guess what? I never called the police. So I pretty much knew that if I don't look over my shoulder, I could be caught off guard at any moment, and I still never called the police. Never even thought to. It does not travel through our mind for the most part. We are brought up like this. If you see somebody doing something to your brother or sister, you help them. If somebody hits you, you hit them back. We are not taught to go to authority figures to seek protection from someone else. Our mamas didn't raise us to do that. Our daddies didn't raise us to do that. They raised us on some whole other shit. So it was never like, yo, hey, mom, someone's hit me at school. Well, what you need to do is go talk to the guidance counselor, go talk to the principal, go talk to the teacher, and have them handle that for you. It was, you go hit them back. You don't let nobody hit you. You don't let nobody do something to you. Right? Ain't nobody gonna protect you but you. You better go hard for yourself. right? That's your only brother. That's your only sister. You better protect them. But what if protecting them looks like you going to the authorities even when they're not willing to? What if it's not necessarily you showing up with fisticuffs? What if it's you protecting them from themselves by telling that girl, you can't come back over here no more? I don't care what my brother say to you. If he tell you you can come back over here, when you do, if you do, you still gonna have a problem with me and my mama. We're saying you can't come back over here. This ain't his house. When he get his own crib, then he can have you over there anytime he want to. But neither one of y'all have your own crib, right? And y'all showing up to other people's houses fighting and arguing and shit, right? Nah, you're not coming over here no more because I said so. I don't care if you dating my brother or not. You coming up in my mama house breaking my mama shit? Yo, you crazy as hell. You getting out. Let's continue.
Mention something about Travis showing you his phone. Tell us the context. What happened about that?
He was showing me that the girl like broke his phone, like he couldn't use it.
Was this later on before your mom came home?
Yes, sir.
And you mentioned that he tried to use it in front of you?
Yes, sir.
What happened when he tried to use it?
It didn't work. He couldn't use it. The touch screen was messed up.
All right, there was Mr. Colossi mentioned to you there was a text message that, or a call rather, that was rejected according to the phone records. Do you have any? Did you see your brother rejecting any calls?
No, sir.
Ever hear that phone ring again after Dominic broke it?
No, sir.
Well, you don't really know Dominic broke it. You didn't see that, right?
That's correct.
You were told that.
That's correct.
Okay. Did you ever hear it ring or see the screen ever light up again?
No, sir.
You know if the internal phone was working, that it could still receive calls, but you just couldn't hear them or see them?
That's correct.
You know that?
No, sir.
Did your brother owe Keyshawn Jones an explanation about what happened?
No, sir.
You said you had some serious injuries, but didn't require hospitalization.
That's correct.
All right. What was hurting? You said you were sore and what's going on?
My head, my back, my chest, my eye, my face, just sore all over.
How long did it last?
Next question should be, were there any bumps, bruises, abrasions, or cuts? Were there any bumps, bruises, abrasions, or cuts? Okay, because you're saying you're sore, but I want to know how you looked. I want to know how much damage was done to you. You know, we could determine from there if some people would have probably went to the hospital over this issue. A lot of us, we ain't gonna go to the hospital unless it's super serious. That's a big ass doctor bill. So we'll just be like, I can put a Band-Aid on, I can wrap up my sprained wrist or hand and just tough it out. My grandma used to have a doctor bag. You ain't go to the hospital for shit unless you was already pronounced dead. The doctor bag was a paper bag too. It wasn't even in no vinyl. It wasn't even no bag she stole from the damn hospital. She had a paper grocery bag, okay, that a drop of water would have melted that motherfucker. You understand me? And she had some of that cloth bandage shit for big wounds. She had some Band-Aids for little wounds and some peroxide for all wounds. You understand me? And some Robitussin in Chris Rock voice. And one time my cousin threw a fan blade, a metal fan blade, y'all. Now we outside playing karate and shit, but he done frisbeed a metal fan blade, right? Rusty too. And that shit hit me in my shin and literally chopped a chunk out of my shin. I still got it. You think grandma took me to the hospital? She sewed my leg back on. Poured some damn Robitussin on it. Some of that paper cloth shit. And I had to limp around till my leg grew back. You know? When I was playing basketball, the ball came off the bottom of the rim and was coming towards my face really quickly. I go up to try to catch the ball, and my thumb cuts through. Still see the scar right here. My thumb cuts through. I had a long thumbnail. Cut through my whole damn, what's her name? Blood gashing, right? Okay. You think she took me to the hospital? My cousin, you see this scar right here? My cousin, threw a pencil, stuck that shit in my head when I was a kid, okay? You think I went to the hospital? My brother, he got his back burned with hot chicken grease, okay? He wanted some more chicken. Can I have another piece of chicken? Yeah, you can get one. He couldn't reach it. It's at the back of the stove. So he opened the oven door to create a step for himself. He steps up on the oven door. The stove leans forward. He falls down when the stove leaned forward. He fell down on his stomach. The pan fell off the stove on his back and burnt his whole back up. He almost died. Do you think my grandma sent this man to the hospital to get skin grafted from his leg to put on his back? No. She poured rubber tussin on his burns, okay? Yo, we didn't have no doctor bills. We don't go to the hospital, okay? We don't, okay? We just don't go. You got to make us. You got to. My sister, Toya, she stepped on a nail, okay? Sorry, Toya, I got to tell this one. She stepped on a nail. That nail went through her pinky toe, and that shit was hanging on. Her toe was hanging on by its skin, okay? Do you think, my grandma, took her to the hospital? Y'all don't hear me. Hit your neighbor, turn to your neighbor and say, there wasn't no damn hospital. That toe got glued back on with Robitussin, okay? My grandma wrapped that shit up. I don't know how the bone fused back together and she can even bend it no more. I'm just saying. I don't know how it healed, but it did, okay? That's all I'm saying, all right? But we're going to get back to it, family.
It lasted for a good approximately about six days.
Okay. You're asked by the prosecutor, you never went inside to try to grab a gun, right? Remember those questions?
That's correct.
Not even shoot a gun?
Uh,
Oh, you pull a trigger, but do you have any experience in doing that?
yes, sir.
All right, then why didn't you go inside? Were you able to go inside?
No, sir.
Did you even think about it, or you weren't even?
I was afraid
Why?
because I was surrounded.
Did you have guns?
No, sir.
Did you know where your brother's guns were when you were outside?
Yes, sir.
Did you ever have an opportunity to possibly run inside the house and try to get a gun?
No, sir.
If you did have that opportunity, would you have acted upon it?
Yes, sir.
And just so we're clear, when Sebastian and Chris were beating you up, those are your words,
That's correct.
at the time they stopped beating you, is that when you saw your brother running towards you?
Yes, sir.
Did you get there at the exact same time?
Yes, sir.
Did the shooting happen within a couple of seconds from that, or was it longer?
It was like after they
Right,
got to the car.
seconds, minutes,
I say like seconds.
couple of seconds, or more than that?
Yeah, like a couple of seconds.
Very
Yeah.
quick.
Very quick.
Did you have time to dive on the ground when the guns were pointed on you?
No, sir.
You have time to turn your back and run home?
No, sir.
Why?
Because I was traumatized and I got two guns pointed at me, so I was in a state of shock.
I need to clear up where the guns were. One, you obviously said multiple times it was through the windshield, right?
Correct.
From Sebastian.
That's correct.
The other one in the car pointed at you or out of the car pointed?
Hey, somebody in the comments are saying we didn't get to go home until we even when we were sick, we got made to go to school and the teacher had to send us home. Right, they got to check your temperature with the real thing. Back in the day, they just put their hand on your head, tell you all right, boy, you all right. Your head 38 hot. When they put their hand on your head, they burnt the back of their hand. Them was like, you all right, get on to school. They just didn't want you at home, okay? They didn't. Like, amen, Kevin. There was no hospital says prayer changes. Absolutely. With no hospital. You understand? We're from the world of invalidation, okay? Where if you get hit or you hurting, if you crying, your parents will just say, "Are you bleeding?" to imply that if you're not bleeding, it didn't hurt. But we know the one it hurt the most when it don't bleed. Sometimes when your skin breaking, I think it help a little bit because you get hit real hard. You can get hit. I think you got cut, and that shit'll be hurting like a mug. And you sit here looking for the cut. You sit here like, damn, that shit is crazy. Where the blood? The bloody cuts don't hurt as bad. But that's how they do. If you fall and get hurt, are you bleeding? So you just get invalidated. You don't even know if you hurt half the time because they ain't gonna they don't care. If you bleeding, they'll still say, boy, you ain't hurt. You could be crying and they would just tell you you ain't hurt. You just gotta take their word for it. Okay, I'm good. Oh, okay. They don't validate you, man. So this grows up into us like not actually acknowledging when we are hurt. Do you understand? And you see the world do this to us too. We come out and say what happened to us and what's hurting us. They just laugh at us, especially when it's emotional for men. You can't nothing hurt a man. You ain't supposed to be hurt.
Pointed at you.
The other one was out of the car pointing at me.
No doubt about that.
That's correct.
You asked all these questions about Sebastian and Tyler having time to shoot back at your brother.
That's correct.
Your brother started unloading his gun very quickly when you saw the guns?
Yes, sir.
You
Yes, sir.
know if they had time really or didn't have time or what was going through their mind while your brother is shooting them?
Here we go.
No, sir.
You know if the first bullet may have struck Sebastian and he was paralyzed or unable to even shoot back?
No, sir.
You asked about the police outside before they made your brother come outside,
The brother didn't do good here.
about you not coming.
The brother could have did a whole lot better job with this redirect. When he brought that question back to him, this was a great opportunity for him to say, I imagine that they were taking cover, that they didn't feel comfortable taking more shots at me because my brother was still letting those rounds off. I mean, what was it, like 36 shots, right? Right? So I would think that if I was the shooter, I'd take cover. I wouldn't feel safe lifting my head back up out of that window, knowing that that's where the majority of the gunshots are going through. I honestly wouldn't feel safe laying down, but I know I got handguns and I can't just look up and find my target. Yeah, I'm not taking the risk on this one. I wouldn't take the risk. And I think that's what he should have said there. All right. Wood with the stick says, yo, Kev, I'm glad you're reviewing this case, man. The world needs to know about how this is wrong. Absolutely. Absolutely. His brother seems a little slow. I think he's a little nervous trying to take his time. But yeah, he could have been a lot faster here, a little bit more swifter here. But I don't think he was coached at all or he's ever been through this, right? Genevieve says, the sad thing, this female married to, right? To begin with, and volatile. It's a shame all around, a life taken because of the loyalty of the friend. Old saying, you live by the sword, you die by it. You're absolutely right. And you better not say anything back. You just have to tough it out. You're absolutely right, Reddy Red. Or they give you something to really cry about, won't they? Right. They whoop you for crying. Tesada Muhammad says the way of thinking comes from the slave master. They did surgery on us without an anesthesiologist. Absolutely. They actually even believed, and even hospitals to this day still believe that black and white people have a difference in pain tolerance. Hardcore fact. So they a lot of times give black people less medication than they do whites. This happens to this day, y'all. King Latanya says she should be in jail, shaking my MFing head. And everybody that showed up there, you're absolutely right. Yeah, he should have been prepared, guys. But let's go.
Out and say anything. Remember those questions?
Yes, sir.
Were you worried about going outside?
Yes, sir.
Why? What'd you think could happen to you?
I get shot at, get killed
By who?
by the four strangers that came over earlier.
I'm talking after this happened, when the police are outside, those questions. Remember those questions that the prosecutor asked you? That you saw the police were outside, is what he said, and you agreed.
Okay.
Remember that?
Yes, sir.
He was trying to figure out why you didn't come out then and say, hey, this is what just happened. Remember those questions?
Yes, sir.
Why didn't you walk outside then and try to find a police officer?
Oh, because to my when they was there or when they was.
Well, I don't know. I'm just going back by his questions. He said, the police are outside. This was before your brother was
Mhm.
arrested. Were there police outside your door?
Oh no, I didn't see no police outside at that time.
There was a word that incriminated came out, and it was a yes or no question.
Correct.
Remember that?
Yes, sir.
What did you mean by that?
Basically, like the same way how they did my brother. I mean, you know, like sometimes officers may try to twist things and try to, you know, and it's like they just jump to conclusions with my brother. So I feel if I talk to him, they'll try to like do me the same way as they did my brother.
You'll be charged with murder.
That's correct.
That's why you wanted a lawyer, to make sure you were treated fairly?
Yes, sir.
You were asked all these questions about the text and read each one.
That's correct.
If there was more text than that, or no, or you don't know?
No, not sure.
Oh,
Don't remember.
that was kind of heated.
Yes, sir.
Why didn't you start telling her every detail about what happened, about them pulling up, a gun pointed at you by Tyler, the two guys pointed guns at you and your brother shot back.
Mhm.
Not first, rather. Well, maybe shot back. I don't know. But why didn't you do that?
Just interest talking to him because I didn't have a lawyer present.
Dominique.
Oh, to Dominique?
Why didn't you try to explain all the details to her?
I mean, she orchestrated.
Great point. I have to pause it for that. I wish I had a Don DeMarco for Lacey Rise right here. Queen Lacey, she says, if it was really about justice, lawyers wouldn't be able to trick individuals on the stand. They would just have to rely on testimony and evidence. But it is not about justice. It is about convictions, isn't it? Right? This is why that you can pay somebody to defend you even when you're guilty of breaking the law. And they can get up there and try and do all this stuff to get you off. Right? It's about convictions, right? It's not about justice. It is not. They can be watching you trick somebody up and won't say nothing. Absolutely unreal. So guys, when you guys are thinking if somebody do something to you, if I go to court about it, they'll see who's right and wrong and I'll win. It ain't about who's right and wrong. It's about who say what at the right time, answer the questions, who don't get tripped up the most, what type of lawyers you have, all that. It ain't got nothing to do with who was right in this, who was wrong in this. It's what's legal, family. And it's very much so legal to get up there and try and trick people and all that. It's just like, don't get caught, right? But let's go. Great comment, Lacey.
The whole thing, so I thought it was self-explanatory that she knew what happened. I mean, she the reason why we all sitting here in this courtroom. She's the reason why the jury there. She's the reason why Sebastian's side of the family there. She's the reason why my side of the family here. She's the reason why my brother here. So she orchestrated the whole thing. So you would think that the person that orchestrated the whole thing, it would be some things just self-explanatory. So I thought it was self-explanatory that she will understand like what happened.
Any doubt in your mind?
Can we
sir,
get a
that
Don
two guns were
DeMarco
pointed
for
at you?
Daryl? Can we get a Don DeMarco for DJ right here? Did you hear that? Did you hear? I'm surprised they even let him say that without cutting him off. Did you hear what he said, man? It's common sense, yo. My family here, his family here, we all here today. A man is dead, a man is injured. My brother fighting for his damn life, all because this woman orchestrated the whole thing. She didn't call the cops, but you asking me about me. She called her brother, but you asking me about me. She didn't call the cops after it happened either, but you asking me about me. She didn't call the cops after the damn physical altercation with her and Travis, but you asking me about me. She the one that orchestrated the whole thing. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for her. They wouldn't have been there if it wasn't for her. It's common sense. Give him a Don DeMarco, man. I'm gonna get me a sound effects box. Don DeMarco, like that. I gotta hear that again.
You were asked all these questions about the text and read each one.
That's correct.
If there was more text than that, or no, or you don't know?
No, not sure.
Oh,
Don't remember.
That was kind of heated.
Yes, sir.
Why didn't you start telling her every detail about what happened, about them pulling up, a gun pointed at you by Tyler, the two guys pointed guns at you and your brother shot back.
Mhm.
Not first, rather. Well, maybe shot back. I don't know. But why didn't you do that?
Just interest talking to him because I didn't have a lawyer present.
Dominique.
Oh, to Dominique?
Why didn't you try to explain all the details to her?
I mean, she orchestrated the whole thing.
She orchestrated the whole thing. Before he goes on it, family, Jamie just says she's the common denominator. Another Don DeMarco. My queens is on it, family. Thank you, Queen Jamie, for that response. She is the common denominator. Right. The brothers weren't there to witness this. So how do they even know about it? She called. Right. When they said he's a dead man walking, what did she say? Please shoot his shit up. Right. She knew she sent the men over there. She is the common denominator. Right. She's the bridge between the both of them. But here we go with this amazing response from Daryl. 3, 2, 1.
So I thought it was self-explanatory that she knew what happened. I mean, she the reason why we all sitting here in this courtroom. She's the reason why the jury there. She's the reason why Sebastian's side of the family there. She's the reason why my side of the family here. She's the reason why my brother here. So she orchestrated the whole thing. So you would think that the person that orchestrated the whole thing, it would be some things just self-explanatory. So I thought it was self-explanatory that she will understand like what happened.
Any doubt in your mind, sir, that two guns were pointed at you?
That's correct.
No, any doubt in your mind?
No doubt at all.
Any doubt in your mind that Travis Rudolfs is your hero?
That's correct.
That's all I have. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, folks. I promise you we'll be done by 5. We're just about done for the day.
Your Honor.
Yes, sir. You can't talk to me right now. All right. Go ahead and step down, go on to the council's table. If there's something that Mr. Shiner wants to bring to my attention, he knows how to do it. Okay. All right. So ladies and gentlemen, I did have a chance to go through my docket for
guys. That's the end for today. Tomorrow, we're going to go through another cross-examination with her brother, the guy that she called and sent over there with this mess. We're going to hear what he has to say. So let's get excited for tomorrow, guys. Come ready to learn with your damn thinking caps on, because we're going to break down another part of this case that we can all learn from, okay? What did we learn from this case today, family? So far, his testimony today, what did we learn as a brother, okay? That even when you see your sibling in a situation, don't think that they have it handled. If you notice that they're going at it tooth and nail with this person over and over and over, you are your brother or sister's keeper. You voice it, call an intervention. If they won't listen, tell your mama and daddy if they're still in your life. You understand? Get with your family, your most trusted peers in your family, and make sure that this person is wise enough to discontinue hanging around this person that is no good for them. Do you understand? Because what can happen is they can jeopardize the whole entire family with their actions. Okay? We're going to break all of this down into a real teaching about how to train our families up, train our children up to be able to handle relationships, and how the family should support the children while they're in relationships and all of this stuff, so we know how to act and carry ourselves, because it seems that we're falling to domestic issues more than other issues in this country. We're just simply not getting along, and we handle things in the worst way, family. So this was another one that shows all the times we dropped the ball. He never called the police, even though this woman was making threats, talking about, I looked at her like a sister. I don't care how you look at her. That goes out the window when somebody crossed the line like that. You stop being loyal to some title you gave some stranger. Yo, if they make you, take them at their word. If they say they're going to do it, you believe them. If she's calling the house, telling the mother that and the sister there, at least you should have believed her there. You dropped the ball, brother, when you didn't call. Okay, so did Travis, so does his mother, so does his mother. They dropped the ball. The police wouldn't be sitting here harping on that. They are the authorities. They should have simply asked, yo, what do you think a police's job is, right? To protect and serve. All right, so why didn't you call them so that they could protect you? Why didn't you call them so that they could serve you, right? You have this issue that needs to be taken care of. Why didn't you call them? Well, I didn't trust them. Listen, man, you're going to have to fight through all of that and do the protocol, because we don't care if you trust us or not. Anybody can say that. Anybody can say, I don't trust the police. You should have called. Someone just tried to kill you, man. Call. Someone just threatened you. Call. Now I can see if the man had warrants or something. He's like, I don't want to call. I got warrants myself. But you ain't got no warrants or nothing, man. You call on up there and protect yourself, your brother, and your mama. I'm telling you, man. Thank you, Grant. Thank you, Rise family. Great content. Thank you so much, Mary Myatt. Guys, be here tomorrow at 12 p.m. I think I'm gonna go again at 12. I'll let you guys know this afternoon. I know tomorrow you guys probably working. Y'all can't get on here at 12. I'll probably be at work, huh? I might do this tomorrow a little bit later in the day, probably like 3 or something. Okay. Comment in here, guys. What's the best time for y'all? And I'll go with the majority will overrule. Okay. So let me know what's the best time for y'all, and we'll go from there. All right. Family, I love y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. Hopefully we all learned something. Hopefully we all can take something back from this. Hopefully you guys will show this to your children, okay? And have them get prepared for things like this. There's so many different court cases that's available to be viewed on YouTube and online. Start sitting down with your children and showing them this, because there's a whole world that's waiting for them to slip up. They're banking on you not giving your children the right tools to navigate this world, so they can trip them up and land them up in jail and be using their life energy for their purpose. You understand? And take the life of your child and your legacy and use it for their purpose. They're banking on you not training your child to be able to navigate this world so they can take your child from you, man. They banking on that. Okay, I see you guys saying around 4 or 5. I probably do it around then. Look like my first 3 comments in a row is around 4 or 5. Okay, family. Anyway, I love you guys. Keep letting me know what the best time is in the comments. That is subject to change based on how many of you guys choose what time. But yeah, let your children watch this stuff, family, so they can move adequately, okay, accordingly. All right. Thank you guys so much for your comments. Thank you guys for supporting. Thank you for your likes. Thank you for your shares. I'll see you guys tomorrow, okay? Be evolution. Be the change that you want to see. No candle loses its flame from lighting another. And if you were to ever find yourself in the middle of chaos, it is in that chaos that you have found yourself. And wood with the sticks, that sucks if you can't make 4 or 5, man. I love your commentary. I love your comments. Please try and make it at 4 or 5 if we can't make 12. All right. I'd love to have you on, man. All right. Let's go. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Peace.